What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tournament Tactics. It's NFL Week 12, and we're breaking it down for you. We're taking a look at the DraftKings main slate. We're going to figure out all the positions, all the players, and how to take down big tournaments in NFL Week 12. Let's do it.
Let's go! Geek on the keys, Kevin Allen with the vision. BobbyWow 2 times already won, 2 millions, no fiction. Burns in the shark lab, calculating the math. Wrote the damn book on how to run up a bag. Desire pull up, the MILF Slayer in the building. GPP trophies on his neck, keep the whole chat thrilled in. Third hat, who? Not us, we eating. Heat it. Oh! Tournament tactics, we stacking the bags again. Millie make $100s, yeah, we cashing in. Helmets up, blue moon in the cup, boner alert. That over under going up. Core players lock, domination station pop. Props based projections make the whole field drop. DFS Army. Tournament tactics.
Fresh new intro song. Thank you to the viewer who sent that in. So good. Let's go. Guys, we got a big one to break down. News is breaking all over the place. News is happening today. The slate is changing. I just saw like 5 different pieces of news. First, Jaylen Warren, healthy. Gainwell, not interested anymore, right? It's done. Throw him out. Didn't work out. Fine. Next, in a disaster, Jackson Dart ruled out for this week. It's going to be Jameis Winston.
It's Jackson Dart. You chose Jackson Dart.
Why?
You weren't going to play him, though, were you?
Yeah, I liked him for this week. Yeah. I was down with the Dart. Keep in mind, though, guys, I think the Giants coach got fired because he allowed Dart to hurt himself. Mm-hmm. And I don't even think that this new coach is going to be as reckless with the designed runs as the previous coach. Why would you? You're probably going to get fired. So it didn't work out. Guys, mayhaps the biggest piece of news possible. Okay. Kenny Walker shows up on the injury report. Gluteus maximus troubles. Okay. He got troubles with the maximum glutes. What does it mean, guys? We're now waiting on two situations that will flip the whole, actually 3. I'm going to say 3 situations that will flip this whole slate on its back. It's not they. It's it. It's binary. But here are the 3 situations that we're now awaiting, gentlemen. Number 1, will Ramondre play? Number 2, will Kenny Walker play? And number 3, will Josh Jacobs play?
Yep.
It's really hard to even do anything on the slate until those questions are answered, because every single one of those questions, if the starter is out, the backup or the other player becomes a lock button. Every lineup situation.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All of them.
Hot.
Yeah. No, it's not hot. It's just basic, stuff. They're all going to be projected multiple points above their salary. They're all going to be the highest fantasy points per dollar values on the slate. And it just is what it is. Those will be lock button plays if the starters are out. Especially on the slate where there's not any other like running back that I'm dying to play at value. They're all priced really appropriately. No one's a bargain. Big stuff. Joe Burrow, you know what? I actually think the Joe Burrow news is less critical to the slate than you would think. Like, it doesn't really make any difference to me if he plays or doesn't. Doesn't really make any difference to me. Devin Neal, if Kamara's out, I have not even heard such a thought that Kamara even has a Q tag on him. So this is news to me, metal to me. News to me. All right. Bobby, why was that shocking to you that I think that all 3 of those running backs are lock button all in plays if the starters are out?
Yeah, look, anytime anybody says lock button all in, I'm just going to catch my attention. I'm not going to let you drag me in 5 minutes into the show, though. But yes, it was a little bit jarring. I'll
No,
say
I'm
that.
just saying, like they're going to be the best values by far on the slate, and they're the kind of
agreed. They would be
running
the best
backs show up like that. You want to play them. Like I'm playing Sharps if Walker. I'm playing Sharps at Tennessee if Walker's out. Like I'm in every lineup that I make this week, including the 1,500 pocket max lineups that I'm going to make. He will be in every single one of them. All of them.
Dude,
Go ahead.
Your leverage is gone now.
Well, yeah, that's right. Everybody who's listening to the show are my competition. So no, don't play him there. No, that's not how we do it, guys. That's not how we do it here. Yeah, G-Funk is right, man. This actually, it's actually could be a time to play Kamara. As crazy as that sounds, but let's get into tournament tactics, gentlemen, and of course, the intros. We got Bobby two-time Millie Maker winner here to break it down with us. We got the MILF Hunter himself, Josiah, multi-time GPP tournament winner, NBA specialist, NFL monster. And of course, we have Burns, author of Winning the $1 Million Game, Secrets of the DraftKings Millie Maker. He literally wrote the book on winning Millie Maker tournaments. Super cool. And me, I'm just bringing it all together here, guys. I'm just tying it all together, hopefully with hopefully some entertainment along the way. So let's just jump right into this, guys. Quarterback position, NFL Week 12. I've got the Domination Station Optimizer open here, sorted by ownership projections. And let's take a look at what we got. So Pat Mahomes, top owned guy. I get it. Drake May in a, I don't know. I would initially thought non-competitive matchup, but I don't know. Maybe more competitive than I thought. Drake May, possible MVP. We got Jared Goff getting some ownership against the Giants. I don't know how I feel about that one. I'm curious to your guys' thoughts on Goff. I know we've had some Goff fans here on the show throughout the season. Josiah. And Jalen Hurts in the nut matchup against the Eagles, all heavily owned. Lamar Jackson, inexplicable ownership against a Jets team that is dead as a doornail. Like Jacoby Brissett in a better spot than last week. He was ready to not play last week. So does anything stand out to any of you guys here on the ownerships? Like last week, we opened this up and we're like, what the fuck? Who's playing JJ McCarthy? Right? We're like, why is that guy the highest owned guy? And hopefully everybody who watched the show last week was like, all right, let the other suckers play him, right? Like, even if you didn't do anything great on show, at least you didn't play McCarthy. That's a good thing. Yeah, it's a weird week. Your boy, BobbyWow, Caleb Williams, not very highly owned at home this week in a pretty comfy, cozy matchup. I'm curious. I'll be curious to your thoughts about that one. It's been pretty good at home.
Yes.
Danny Dimes on the other side of that game. And then, of course, just the ne'er-do-wells down below. So, guys, right off the bat, does anything surprise you about these ownerships at all? Like, does anything stand out as, that's a weird one? Like I said, last week we saw a couple weird ones. Anything here that's kind of like, I don't like that?
It's not surprising that Patrick Mahomes is the highest owned quarterback, but I do think the spot is tougher than it looks. Just because the Colts have gotten better bringing guys like Sauce in, and he's not a quarterback I'll be playing this week.
Okay. All right. Mahomes has been good, though. He has been pretty good lately.
Yes.
I mean, Drake May, how about the fact that he hasn't scored 30 fantasy points in a game yet? He's the most expensive quarterback on this slate.
Yeah, I would agree. That's where I was going to go. Drake May's he's super efficient, accurate. He's been a stud, but not necessarily as far as like fantasy football is concerned. He's a guy that hasn't shown much of a big ceiling this season. And the Patriots, when it gets down to it, they are going to pound the football, especially with Ramondre back. But we saw it last week against the Jets. Great matchup for May. The Patriots committed to the run, and he put up kind of a modest score. So, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned there.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel the same way about if I had to pick one, Lamar Jackson. I don't really get it. They're up against the Jets. Jets are a pretty dead team. I don't recall the last time Lamar Jackson went out and put up a monster score when he didn't need to. It's usually a need situation with Lamar, not necessarily a he's not out there styling on teams anymore. He's not a young buck. He's been around. Doesn't need to style on anyone. He's already done that.
We haven't, outside of the Miami game, we also haven't really seen Lamar have super soft matchups like this, though. So that's why I kind of like it as a nice bounce back spot.
Yeah, and usually Lamar's looking down at the rest of the field, right? This week he's not the most expensive, so I think he makes some sense.
Okay, all right. Couple of likes for Lamar there. He was not on my radar at all. I usually wait for a little bit more competitive matchups. Burns, your road favorites theory holds true once again last night as the Bills and Josh Allen especially just disappoint.
Yeah, one of the members in the channel asked me what my thoughts on that game was going to be, like how I thought it was going to play out. And I said, there are a couple easy fades in this game. Josh Allen on the road is an easy fade at supremely high ownership. You could have faded him completely across the board and been completely fine. Fade him at the captain spot. I think he was at 20+% ownership projected there. And fade is 55 to 60% ownership in the flex too. But a guy that was significantly over-owned, and he had the worst matchup on the entire slate of games this week, is Dalton Schultz. And he was like pushing 30% ownership as a projection. And I told people, I'm like, this is an easy fade. He is going up against one of the toughest defenses in the league, across the league against tight ends. And so he did not disappoint one bit. He was a complete dud.
Gotta love it.
We were on James Cook. We were on Woody Marks. We were on Nico. We were on Higgins. So, and then other members asked about Houston's kicker, and we were like on that too. So it was a really good collaboration on that slate last night. So
love to hear it. And yeah, you love when the matchup kind of like the DVPs and the matchups dictate a certain thing, and then it comes true, right? Like a lot of times, and then it happens just as thought, which is how that game went down a little bit last night. So let's see if we can shift gears here, and let's get to focused on this week's slate across the board. We can talk a little bit about some of these matchups, but I think we can get to that conversation as we're talking through the quarterback positions themselves, right? I mean, obviously, you've got a couple games here with green tiles. Some of these will be good. Some of them are just kind of on one side. Look at the Lions team total just keeps going up. They can't get enough of Lions scoring here in this one. We've got this beautiful matchup here between the Jaguars and the Cardinals, one of my favorite games of the week to target. You got, of course, a showdown of Titans here between the Colts and the Chiefs, and then the NFC East rivalry, Eagles Cowboys game. So a few games are popping potentially. Maybe that Bears side at home. Anything else of this group of games? I just mentioned a few of the sort of hot ones. I guess maybe Patriots Bengals have some interest. Like, I don't know. Anything else for you guys kind of popping off as like, oh, this is a game that could get a little crazy.
Did you mention the Eagles Cowboys game?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah. That's a favorite for sure. I think the sneaky one is probably that Bears at home against the Steelers game. It could be really interesting.
Agreed.
Indeed.
Yeah, could be really interesting. I wish
especially if Rodgers plays. Is Rodgers been confirmed either way yet?
Not yet.
No. Does it matter?
You know he's going to play. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of an edge, I think, if Rodgers plays. To me, I think the Steelers, number one, will play better. I have no faith or confidence in Mason Rudolph, but Caleb's got a little chip on his shoulder, I feel like. Not that it really matters, but to try and kind of like dethrone Rodgers once and for all. I know it sounds goofy, but like in Chicago, that is a legit storyline.
Really?
That's really sad, but it's true. Yes.
You know what? I liked Caleb Williams this week, but that storyline is just so bad.
It's kind of stupid.
It's bad, but it's true. It is so true.
Really?
Rodgers has haunted the Bears for 15 plus years. So yeah, there's
Slay
a little
the
bit of an
demon.
extra edge. Yeah, you got to slay him while you got the chance.
Demon Slayer. Caleb, Demon Slayer is his Dungeons and Dragons role in the D&D games. All right, guys, let's get into the quarterback position. NFL Week 12. All right, I've got the Dom station here. Actually, we'll go to DraftKings as we can look at some game logs as we discuss these players, right? So, pay up options, NFL Week 12, guys. 6K and up. We got Goff, Danny Jones, Dak Prescott. Oh no, I couldn't even find him on the ownership list. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, and Drake May. A lot of good spots, a lot of good quarterbacks in the pay up zone here. Burns, will start with you. We're looking for quarterbacks to win us the big tournament in NFL Week 12. We're going to balance some ownership with some upside here. So give me two of these quarterbacks, Burns, that you're excited to play in your Millie Maker lineups NFL Week 12.
Yeah, I'll just start with Patrick Mahomes at the top here. He's the model of like efficiency at home. He has reverse splits as a quarterback at home versus on the road, or I should say, really good splits at home versus on the road. It's not even close. Like this guy at home is a different quarterback. He's one of the top guys in the NFL at home. And it's not even, it's weird how much disparity across his home splits are versus road. He's a 30-point QBR difference at home than on the road, which is incredible. I mean, that's one of the top splits I've seen. So he's a 113 QBR at home. He's an 81 QBR on the road, which is incredible. Other guy up top here. Let's see. I'll pull up mine. I do like Goff. My only hesitation with Goff is that can the Giants actually keep up in this game?
Nope.
But I don't know if we even have to worry about it. I think they just keep the freaking foot on the throat of the Giants and they just keep hammering them. Dan Campbell, since he's taken over the play calling for the offense, it really has resurrected Jameson Williams, and he's a good match in this one too. I mean, the secondary in the Giants is just atrocious. Their front, four in that defense is really good, but outside of that, it's really nothing. But I'm not really worried about Detroit in this game. I think they put the pedal to the metal and they roll. But that's slight hesitation.
What I'm worried about in that game, Burns, is Jahmyr Gibbs taking over and just absolutely. I mean, the Giants are 31st against the run. Like they are bleeding points to running back. They can't stop the run at all. I don't know how Goff needs to throw for touchdowns here when Monty and Gibbs are going to go bananas.
Well, we got Sam Laporta that's probably going to be out in this game. So
he's out for the season. Done.
Yeah. So Brock Wright, pretty much, he's okay. He's nothing special. I'm actually going to prefer Brock Wright next week in the Thanksgiving slate because anything goes in that. So, but yeah, like Brock Wright in this offense, he really hasn't done much, but you never know. But yeah, Gibbs, I like Montgomery this week too. So, yeah, I don't know. I got to look at Goff a little bit more, but Goff is extremely efficient in Ford Stadium. He's one of the most efficient quarterbacks at home in the NFL. So he's got a 116 QBR at home. It's incredible. So I'm really looking at May and Hurts and seeing what I don't like away quarterbacks at all this year. I think they're just not doing it. And I don't know. I'm not really happy about hitting the button on these two guys yet. So
I love that you're having like a you ever see those like where like the computer freezes up? It's like, man, I want to play these guys, but shit, the away favorite situation looms large with both Hurts and May. So, but I mean, Yeah. Josiah, let's move on to you here. Pay up options at the quarterback position. We've gone through the names. Any of these popping for you?
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like this is maybe the first time all year I feel like I'm actually paying up at quarterback, and I feel solid about it. I will have some Drake May exposure, but I'm just really matching the field there. Like you said, the way quarterbacks thing has not been a fluke this season. It's been pretty consistent, but I'll still take some shots on just spots I like. I do like the matchup for Drake May, so I'm going to play it. I like the matchup for Hurts. The Eagles have been terrifying all year, but I haven't played too much of them this season, so I'm okay if this burns me. I'll be a little bit over the field on a guy like Hurts because Dallas's defense is just that bad. And so those are two spots that we haven't really touched on. Lamar Jackson is probably my favorite play here. Going up against this Jets defense, they just don't have talent anymore on the defensive side of the ball. With Sauce gone, with their top defensive tackles gone. And I like stacking him with Zay Flowers. That's always terrifying because he hasn't given us a lot to work with. With Rashad Bateman more than likely not playing this week, though, it's a really sexy stack. It looks really good, and it makes lineups a little bit easier to build. So that's the spot I'm going to be over on. And then the only other guy is I'm with you on Goff. He's someone I'll be significantly over the field on too.
I like it. BobbyWow, how about you?
Yeah, it's three guys for me. It's Lamar, number one. This is maybe the 1 week we'll be able to get some legitimate leverage on Lamar. I understand, it's the Jets, maybe non-competitive, but Lamar is kind of finding his footing again since he got hurt. And I think they're going to do everything they can to pound the Jets and for Lamar to get back to who he is, to the MVP. So I really like Lamar at reduced ownership here, not even the most expensive. Hurts, very similar reasons. He's been even worse, but this matchup against the Cowboys, this is a dream matchup and a get right spot for him. And then Jared Goff, we talk about blowout risk with Goff. It's interesting is the Lions coming off of a loss smash, and they smash and don't look back. Goff's two highest scoring weeks this season. I think he put up 37 points against the Bears and then 27 points a couple weeks ago. Were both coming off of losses, and they were both in blowout wins. So that doesn't concern me as much with Goff as it might with somebody else. So love the price tag on him. He's super easy to stack with Laporta out. You've got ASB and Jamo with some Gibbs mixed in. And again, coming off a loss, I think Dan Campbell and the Lions look to smash.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You don't have to worry about Gibbs because they both got in there before. So it's okay to play him with Gibbs. I think
sometimes he throws it to Gibbs, and sometimes Gibbs just runs it. Like there's a little bit of variance that goes on there. I'm not as high as you guys on Lamar. I want you to bring it around. Like I'm going to allow it to sink in a little bit. He's a guy that I've had on my list. I've got a little board here that says does not do well in non-competitive matchups. Like he just rarely does. I think they normally hand it to Derrick Henry in these situations, and Henry goes bananas. Low owned Derrick Henry, by the way. So there's another angle in that game. I think I really love Mahomes. Mahomes at home for all the reasons you said, Burns especially at home. He's been better, got the good splits, and the Colts can score. So the Colts can put up a lot of resistance in that game. I would not be shocked if the Colts were leading the game at some point. And if Mahomes he hasn't been doing the comeback thing so far this year, but they've been losing those games when they fall behind, unfortunately, and that's why the record looks how it does. But they always keep it close. And I like Mahomes up top if I'm paying up. Drake May, I really, again, I'm not convinced there that that's the guy I want to pay top dollar for this week. There are some cheaper quarterback options that I like a lot, but I think Jalen Hurts, spectacular. Get the nuts matchup. I don't even care. I do think Barkley has a really good matchup too, so it's interesting. But they got to get that passing game situation right. And if there were ever a time to get it right, it is against the Cowboys. And it's a gift to your fan base too, because those Eagles fans, man, they hate the Cowboys almost more than any other fan base hates another team. I think that is the most hated. The fan base that hates the other team the most might be Eagles. Hatred of the Cowboys. You mentioned the Cowboys walking around in Philadelphia. You might get your ass kicked over there. It's dangerous. You don't want to say that. No, I hate them.
I saw a video today of kids in school beating up
Yes.
pictures of Cowboys players.
That's right.
You don't see that anywhere else.
In elementary school, they teach the children to hate the Cowboys. They literally have them punching Cowboys players in the face. I saw that video too. So it's funny that you saw it. I saw it too. So yeah, anyway, for me on this topic, somebody asked about Danny Jones. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. On the other side of that game, but I kind of think if Jones is getting it done, again, Mahomes is getting it done more, and they're not that different in price. Danny Jones does run a little bit, so I guess there's that. And you guys will probably convince me to get a little bit of Jared Goff exposure, as you do almost most weeks on this show. So it's probably going to work. And I'll be like, all right, I'll play some Goff, even though, like I said, my first thought on that game was, man, as bad as the Giants are against quarterbacks, they're even worse against running backs. So why wouldn't they just hand it to Gibbs? All right.
Kevin, there's one more thing I'll mention on Patrick Mahomes. The splits are clear right in your face when you look at it. This is the first time the Colts secondary has been completely healthy with Sauce Gardner, with Travarius Ward, even their slot corner who I'm blanking on is back. The thing that worries me with the fade with Mahomes is that the Colts, they're missing their defensive tackle, DeForest Buckner. And so Patty Mahomes should have a lot of time to throw. And when that happens, magic happens. So I think that's definitely still a strong call, but I'm just going to stick to the take.
Let's just stick to that game. And I want to stick to this matchup thing that you just mentioned, right? Sauce is on the team. Ward. So how are we thinking the defensive matchups are going to look in this one? We think Sauce going to be on Rice?
I think it's too tough to say, especially on a newer team in Indy. I would be surprised if we saw him completely shadow somebody in the Indy scheme. But, I suppose it's possible, but I'm not counting on it. I'm not playing the slate as if he's shadowing Rashee Rice.
Yeah. And Rice is in the slot a decent amount too. And so it'll surprise me a little bit if Gardner traveled with him.
Somebody said saucy rice sounds delicious. Does sound good.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think there's a shadow at all in this one by Gardner at all. I think it's because Rashee Rice operates mostly out of the slot. I think Gardner won't even follow him, and he's going to stick to the outside. I think whoever he's on, I think I got him on Worthy, so I think he takes Worthy out of the game if Worthy actually does play in this game. So. I think Rashee Rice is a good play because a lot of people think that Gardner is going to go to cover him, but he won't.
I don't want to get sauced by playing Rice and getting screwed. And that's the main guy that I kind of think pairs up nicely with Mahomes. So good to hear that. Good to hear that.
Well, I think the matchup in this one that's exploitable is Travis Kelce with Mahomes. I think he's the one that could be the guy. I mean, it's a 5K. He just blew up last week. They are starting, maybe the rapport is starting to get better there with the two of them. So I don't know. It was probably his best performance of all year.
You think Brittany and Taylor made up and now it's going well?
Maybe.
That could happen. That's probably what it is. You better not throw with him. You know what I mean? Like when Mahomes is at home, fuck that bitch. When Brittany, if she's fighting with Taylor.
Yeah,
they need to chill out. Got to keep them out of the football conversation. All right, guys, let's go to the next group of quarterbacks on the slate. I like a couple of these guys down here as well. Love to pay down at quarterback. BobbyWow, we're going to start with you. I'm going to throw the names out there though first. Right, so secondary group are some of our pay down. Then we have some super cheap turds, but this is a group that might include Jordan Love. Definitely, Caleb Williams in that group, Darnold, Brissett, T-Law. I'm not going to mention any of these names. They should not be mentioned. The rest of them.
That's
but
fair.
maybe Tyler Shook. I don't know. Shadur Sanders, mayhaps.
Whoa.
I don't know. So, or anyone else, BobbyWow. So, secondary group here. Caleb is in that group, BobbyWow. We got Brissett, the GOAT, in this group. Still, what DraftKings stubborn refusal to raise the salary level. Fine by me, as Ross would say to Rachel. What do you think, BobbyWow?
There's two guys that stand out to me here. One is, of course, Caleb. Look, this might bristle some feathers here, but no quarterback on this entire slate has had a ceiling like Caleb Williams. No one scored more points than Caleb did when he scored 39 a couple weeks ago. So in terms of raw ceiling, Caleb's got it here. He's relatively low priced. And the Steelers, we keep trying to be scared of the Steelers defense, but they are just not the same defense as we're accustomed to seeing. So Caleb at home, I like it. We got Luther Burden being more a part of the offense. Last week, he saw more snaps than ever. Man, he elevates Caleb's game. I think that's going to be a big storyline here.
Let's talk about that. I was going to save that for the wide receiver conversation. What happened last week? Burden up to 44% snaps. Olamide down to 13%. Is this just the team realizing we need to get this talent on the field, or is there something else at play last week?
I think it's just a matter of getting the young guy up to speed, feeling like you're comfortable with him in the offense and you can live with a certain amount of mistakes that he might make as a newbie. But then also you have that upside. So I think the balance finally shifted here. Zacchaeus had dropped a lot of passes. Now, funny enough, Burden dropped a couple last week, but at the end of the day, I think this is Burden's WR3 role now. So he's going to be probably a 50% snap guy, and man, he has some big playability. So yeah, look, Caleb isn't a smashed lock button by any means, but in tournaments, I love the upside. I think that the safer guy, maybe the more balanced play is Jacoby Brissett. This is a quarterback that threw the ball 57 times last week, 44 the week before. He's thrown it 35 or more times in 4 of the last 5 weeks. Like, the Cardinals are clearly going to sling it with him. It doesn't matter who's healthy at wide receiver. It doesn't matter if it's a blowout, close game. He's going to throw the football and throw it nonstop. So I love that, they're airing it out with Jacoby. Trey McBride, once again, he's too cheap here again. Love that stack. But man, if you're going to get a guy that's throwing 35, 40 plus, with 57 times last week at his price tag and a solid matchup, you got to take it. So I think Jacoby is one of the best quarterbacks on the entire slate.
Let's go. Let's go. Love to hear the Brissett love coming out of Wow. This guy hasn't gone below 20 fantasy points in a game yet that he started. Love Brissett. Is Brissett the new Flacco? Is that what it is? He's going to sling it? Old guy who just doesn't give a fuck? That's what he is. He might be the new Flacco.
I don't know if he's the new Flacco.
I don't know what he is, but he's throwing the ball a lot. And he's not even that old. I think he's like 32.
No. Is he?
You think he's overtaken Kyler for this team's quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do.
Kyler's gone.
Even when Kyler's healthy?
Kyler will not be in. He's not going to start for this team anymore. He's done.
He's in the past.
He won't even be on the Cardinals next year. He's done.
They thought they could trade him to the Panthers, but no.
They're going to try to find a sucker. It's probably going to be the Jets, guys. It's probably going to be the Jets because we like.
Yeah, but they're going after.
You would welcome him with open arms.
No, do not want. I don't want Short King as the quarterback. The Jets need an elevator, not a detractor. This guy, when he leaves the team gets better. There's nothing good about that. You don't want him. No one should want him.
It's true.
He makes the team worse. He makes the team worse, guys.
There's talks of the Jets going after Mendoza. I'm not trying to be.
I'd rather have pencil. I'd rather have the neck. Davis Mills. I don't want to call him pencil neck. He earned the name. The pencil's removed. He's now just the neck, which is more badass. I'd rather have Davis Mills on my team at this point than Kyler Murray. Josiah.
Yeah, I like the two guys Bobby mentioned. One guy I'll mention here is Sam Darnold. The last 2 weeks have been a little tough. Darnold has been disappointing me in some really good spots. I think a lot of that has to do with their offensive line is a bit banged up. But the nice thing is the Titans have zero talent anywhere. And they're just an awful defense. And this just glows so brightly for me as a really big spot for them to get things back on track. The only reason I don't have as much Brissett exposure as I would like is because Sam Darnold's only 100 more than him, and I think there's a bit more upside here. So yeah, Sam Darnold's the only other guy I would mention down here.
Easy stack with Darnold, as Zola Baxter says, because just play Jackson.
Yeah, just Jason.
No big deal. No big deal. Burns, anybody in the pay down zone here that you're focused on? I assume you like Brissett. Maybe Caleb. Anything else?
Yeah, we're going right back to Brissett, and we're going to Caleb Williams. I can't get on board with Darnold. It's just a metrics thing for me, Josiah. I just can't get on board with him. Honestly, I think it's the defense for Seattle and the run game that's actually going to just destroy Tennessee in this one, especially because Alik Aomanor is out in this game. So the wide receiving core takes a step back. So I'm not quite on this game. I think this game could dud, and it's just a run game and a defensive game. And I just don't think Darnold has to do much to produce, to beat them.
I agree. I think that's the most likely scenario too.
Darnold has not excelled necessarily in actually, no, you know what? In this Washington game, he tore it up in a non-competitive. So,
yeah,
you know. That's
I won't be on anybody below 6K other than Caleb and Jacoby.
Shout out to Mr. Nashty for putting that intro together for today, man. That thing is fire, bro. I listened to it, not during the show. I'm listening. I'm just, when I'm making lineups, it's now in my mix of just, hip hop that I enjoy listening to. It's in there. Jay-Z and Pitbull.
It's definitely fresh, man. That was real sweet
stuff.
That's really fire. I mean, you guys all heard it and you're like, oh shit, that fucking rocks. Yeah, Brissett is my favorite play on the slate this week, guys, as he was last week. I go right back to it. The same exact. It's no different. He's at home. Jaguars, fine against the run, but have not been that great against the pass. We got fucking Michael Wilson again. Are you kidding me? They priced up the tight end, McBride, but we're going to deal with that.
I'm a believer in Wilson. I'm a believer now.
You're on board.
I doubted him.
You gave me a hard time last week.
Borderline, yeah.
And gave me a hard time.
He proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm in a dunce hat. So
no.
He looks great.
You did not respect the magic of brisket and slinging it. And I understand that. Not every, it was understandable.
That's a fair point.
He went crazy, but that's what it is. This guy's WR1 now on the team. There's no Marvin Harrison Jr. You can't just throw it to the one guy. And we forgot to talk about it last week. And this is on me, mea culpa. We also forgot Zay Jones also got hurt. Like, this team had the starting wide receivers. It was Zay Jones and Marvin Harrison Jr. with Wilson as sort of like a blocker out there. He was not being used before. Zay Jones being out actually very much affected that game and who they were going to throw to.
Yep.
And that's I didn't really discuss that too much, but that was part of it. So I think him being gone too meant, like, who else to throw it to? There's really only these guys and they're super cheap. There are a couple of sub 5K turds. All right. So if you want some stupid, silly for the millie turds, I'm not so keen on this. I think we hit the right guys. Play Caleb, play Brissett, good to go. Mahomes up top, maybe a little Goff, some of those other names, Hurts. That's it. Right. But if we want to get stupid, and we do want to get stupid sometimes, everybody likes to get a little stupid. The names I picked out here, again, Tyler Shook has not been that terrible as a starting quarterback when given the opportunity, and he gets a pretty acceptable matchup at home against the Saints. Ugh, it's so gross. It feels so icky. With Juwan Johnson and Olave.
119 is not that terrible. That's what we're qualifying is not that terrible.
Yeah, that's not that terrible for 4K. I mean, like, it's not great, but it's not that terrible. I've seen a lot worse. It's not.
He does have the same floor as Caleb.
This is the best line. This stat line is better than any New York Jets quarterback has put together in the last 12 years. So how bad could it be? He's already surpassed 90% of Jets quarterbacks, their best game ever. and he's just some second round pick. So it's not that bad, Bobby Wow. It's not that bad. I'm not saying this is my favorite, but I'm saying if we want to get nauseous, I've got another gross pick, which is Shedeur Sanders. Why? Because I don't fucking know. I mean, literally, I don't know. Shedeur Sanders. He looked okay in a preseason game once. I don't know. Why not? For 4,200, it's at the Raiders. Raiders aren't good. I mean, do I think Shedeur Sanders is going to do anything? No. But for 4,200,
I can understand him. I can understand Shedeur.
Him more than Shook?
Yes, he's got that Dion factor in him. You know, he's gonna sling it. He's probably gonna look ugly, but I could understand that. Yeah, I think he's got some maybe upside. Shook.
I did listen. These are called vomit stacks. They're nauseous stacks. There's nothing good about this. It's just some trash you throw into a milli maker because every once in a while, one of these types of situations hit. As a matter of fact, what's that?
Like Mills.
Yeah, like Mills. Like, did we think Mills was good? And the guy's had 2 pretty good games, by the way.
We still don't think he's good, but yes, he's had a couple of good games. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't mention Tyrod. He's probably the least gross of all the ones at the bottom of the list here. He's got a list of rushing upside at least.
He's pretty gross too. But yeah, I mean, Tyrod, same idea. It's really not different. The problem, actually, Tyrod can actually be there. A couple of Jets wide receivers made my turd list this week as well. And I guess why not just stack him up with Adonai Mitchell and pray that Mitchell use a little stickum on the gloves. A little stickum. Do they not have stickum anymore? What is going on, Adonai Mitchell? How do you drop so many passes? How does an NFL wide receiver drop a perfect feather ball coming down? It didn't even come down at full speed. It was like whoosh, whoosh, like so soft. I feel like I could catch it with just my fingertips and not even hit the palms of the hands, just like whoop. And this guy drops everything. I don't know what the hell's going on, but he's in the NFL. Concentrate, bro. Add a roll before the game will make all the difference. Burns, is it possible that that's what Adonai Mitchell's issue is? He needs a little add a roll before the game, get that focus going.
It could be. I mean, he's like dropsies all the time, butterfingers.
Didn't he also just drop the football on purpose before a touchdown on that week where we played him as a core play?
Yeah, if he would have scored the touchdown, he would have broke the slate.
Fuck. Forgot about that. I wiped that out of my memory. That was horrible.
Kevin, you'd be a goated players like coach. They would love you. They're like, you're drugging us up, you're hyping us up. They would love you.
I'd be giving out bounties like Greg, like that Saints coach. Like, yeah, dude, get in there. What happened? You cracked a knee? $100. Let's go. This is usually how Tyrod's games go. He often gets himself hurt. As a matter of fact, the last time he was going to start, he got hurt on his day off. Like he wasn't even there that day. And then the next day we're like, our Fields is starting. Like, what the fuck happened to Tyrod? He hasn't even played yet.
What the hell's going on? That's happened.
All right, guys, that does it for the quarterback group. Unless anybody has anything to add, I think we move on. Discuss a little bit of the running back action for NFL Week 12. And guys, again, if you missed the opening, there are 3 injury situations that have yet to be clarified that will flip the whole script this week. We can mention them again, but of course it is the if Kenny Walker is out, we play Charbonnet in every lineup situation. If Josh Jacobs is out, we can play Manny Wilson in every lineup. And I can't even remember the third one. That's what's going on in what was the third one? Gainwell, not interesting anymore because Jaylen Warren is in. Is that about right? Bobby, wow, what's going on with the running backs on Chicago, man? I can't even deal with that situation right now. I want to play Chicago running back, but it seems like Monunga is in there way too much.
Don't touch him.
Can't trust it.
Don't touch him.
Can't trust it. I want to hear during the show from the chat, like, oh, Stevenson ruled out. Yeah. Oh, that was the other one. Stevenson ruled out. Oh, Trav, let's go.
Ramondre's going to play.
It looks like he's going to play. If Ramondre plays, I'm going to tell you right now that Trevion Henderson is not trustable. If Ramondre, not Trevion, Vrabel is not trustable if the veteran is in the game. You just can't trust it. Yeah. I can't. I'd love Trevion. He's so good when he's out there. Can't trust it. Guys, I sorted. I think there's bad chalk. Actually, there's some stuff going on here, but I think there's some bad chalk this week. I want to understand this Chase Brown chalk. 30% Chase Brown against the number 2 rush defense in the National Football League because he's catching a lot of passes. I get it. I love the catching of passes and all that. Should we be eating Chase Brown chalk against the top rush defense as an underdog?
Well, faded it last week and didn't really hurt me by fading it. I used him in cash.
I played a ton of Chase last week. He
didn't really hurt you if you didn't use him last week. And I mean, he's got equally as bad of a matchup as he did last week. So if not worse of a matchup. So I don't get this. This is not good. This is not a good chalk situation here. The only thing I can think of is New England is not very good against pass catching running backs. Other than that, it's a tough defensive front. Vrabel will take out him in a hurry with his defensive schemes. Yeah, I don't know about this one. This one's I'm talking about like they're going to take out T. Higgins with Christian Gonzalez. So what else does he have to take out? He's got Chase Brown. It won't be
Seems
hard.
like, I mean,
It's all price. It's all price.
He's not
Look at
priced that well.
Look at Genty.
Yeah.
Genty's 6,300. His prop projection is significantly worse, and he's 17% owned. Like, it is purely a price thing. And Chase Brown is CMC light. Like, he right now, no Jamar Chase. That means even more targets are funneling to Chase Brown for Flacco underneath. Chase Brown was 1 rush yard away from like a 22-point game last week. He's finished with like 19, which was fine. I think it got the job done, but it's a price thing, man. Not a lot of value here.
When Pirine went out, it massively helped Chase Brown, by the way. Understand, that's a lot of what led to the big week last week. No Samaje Pirine on third down left Chase Brown in the game at the times when he was most needed. And it led to, I think, 8 or 9 targets last week. So I guess the question is Chase Brown more of a Devon Achane style player to the point where we can ignore running back, underdog, home, like the normal things that would go against wanting to play a running back?
I mean, we saw it last year. He did the exact same thing in this spot. The matchup terrifies the hell out of me, though. So y'all are kind of convincing me back and forth. My gut says faded, though.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of the rest of what's considered to be chalky or owned this week is all going to change when we find out about Sharps and the other guys. So I don't even think we should even pay too close of an attention to the ownerships here, because these are going to be so wildly different if we get these supreme value plays just opening up that are lock buttons.
I think we have to, and now let me know if you guys disagree. It feels like we have to operate under the assumption that Kenny Walker is going to play and Ramondre is going to play. I think we have to operate under that assumption for this show, and it really does seem like both those guys are going to end up suiting up anyway. So that's kind of the mode I'm in. But
yeah, that's how I've been operating too so far.
All right. So let's get into it. Studs and duds, the usual format. Burns, get ready. We're going to start with you, but we're going to talk about some of the there's a lot of really good high price running backs, maybe some not so good. There's some ownership floating around. So I'm talking 65 and up here. Javonte, Jalen Warren, Trevion, all 3 of those very flawed this week, by the way. Saquon, Derrick Henry, Gibbs, Bijan, Taylor, right? Those 5 all have been studs all year. And, so let's get into this group 65 and up. Burns, give me 2 running backs that stand out to you above and beyond all the others.
Yeah, I think for me, it's Derrick Henry and Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, the matchups for these guys are incredible. I think Derrick Henry may have one of the better matchups of the entire slate for any running back. Jahmyr Gibbs gets the Giants. The Giants are atrocious. And I love the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs is just a pass-catching machine out of the backfield, and he can just destroy a slate. So, yeah, those are the 2. I mean, I do have love on the other guys too, but like Saquon. But I'll say this. I do not think that you can play Jonathan Taylor this week at 10K.
Nope.
If you even put him in the lineup, I think it leaves like four something. I don't know the exact amount, but it is low. And so I'm just not on board with Jonathan Taylor this week. Plus, here's another reason. Spagnola's KC defense at home is no freaking joke. Spagnuolo knows how to take out the number one player on your team, and he will take out Jonathan Taylor this week. So
I agree. JT, by the way, just side note, he can't even hurt you unless he passes 40 fantasy points, which is a massive ask on the road against a really top quality rush. This is not the Raiders. This isn't Tennessee. This is on the road. This is a nasty spot in Kansas City. That's not an easy place to play. 1,000,000% agree on Jonathan Taylor. I think the other four running backs, though, Bijan, Jameer, Henry, and Saquon, all have really strong, like, hey, these guys are good, and really strong arguments why they would be a good play. Josiah, how about you? Give me a couple of your favorites here from this group.
Yeah, I mean, it's Gibbs and Henry all day. Those are the two that I'm going to be over the field on. Bijan's interesting with Drake London out, but the Falcons offense in general has been able to operate well. He has 4 touchdowns on the year now. He got 2 of those last week, though. So his price tag just isn't super exciting for me. And then Barkley, matchup looks great on paper, but they lost Lane Johnson. And so that makes an offensive line that was already struggling with run production even worse, which is kind of why I like Hurts, because I think they'll utilize him to kind of get the ball out in open space, which could still benefit Barkley some. But
I wish they did, but they haven't been doing it. The last time they had a designed run for Hurts, Joe Biden was the president.
Yeah, and that's not helping us right now. So I need it's Gibbs and Henry as like the obvious plays, and then I'll have some like Bijan and Barkley because I just like the matchups, but there's big question marks there on just how well they'll actually produce.
I feel that. Wow, how about you in this topic? Actually, top group, and also want to pick your brain about Trevion Henderson, and it's such a nut matchup against the Bengals. Such a nut matchup. Cannot get better. But yet with Ramondre in there, does it ruin it? Is there any GPP upside in maybe slightly lower unowned Trevion Henderson this week?
I guess. I mean, you could make the case for it. Probably not for me though. This is such a weird backfield when both these guys are healthy. And obviously Trevion's coming off some big time games, scored 4 touchdowns, but at 6,700, you are really kind of sticking your finger up to the wind if Ramondre plays here and hoping you get lucky.
It is.
Oh, no, not for me.
But I mean, let's not forget that this is the same Bengals team that Kenny Gainwell just like put up a 30 burger on.
Look at the prop projection on Trevion.
It's horrible. It's horrifying. It's
not even remote. Like,
no.
If my kid was in the room, I would cover his eyes so they didn't see that.
I feel you though, Kevin. Henderson's so good, it just makes sense to put him out there.
But they won't.
Vrabel, there is no logic in that brain when Ramondre is on a possibility.
Yeah, it's just they won't. I want it to be so bad, but it's just not going to be. I mean, this prop tells you everything. As a matter of fact, BobbyWow, you're right. If you want to do that, just just bet some overs. Like, if you think it's going to happen, we could just bet some overs and not have to worry about any of this. As a matter of fact, you could bet so many overs on this. You could bet you could probably parlay up a stack that would make you as much as a Millie Maker would if he goes off. All right, let's move on, gentlemen, to the secondary group here, the less expensive group of running. There aren't too many anyway, like super cheap ones that would be of interest. But in this next zone, we're talking Ashton Janty in a tough matchup at home. Gross. Chase Brown. You got Breece Hall, who just pops off seemingly out of nowhere for no reason and no shape or fashion. Yeah, Judkins in a good matchup, I think, against the Raiders. ETN now in a brutal split with Bajal Tootin. I don't like that one at all. Is there anybody even to have it? And then maybe some of these backups, these injury fill-ins. You got Kenny Walker, Manny Wilson. That's all I got. So with that being said, Burns, I'll start with you this time. I don't remember how we did it, but Burns, I'll go back to you here. So lower cost running backs, NFL Week 12. lot of names on the list. We already talked a little bit about Chase Brown and that chalk being a little bit sketchy. Not bad. Way worse on FanDuel. BobbyWow, unplayable Chase Brown on FanDuel, also with some ownership too. But
yeah, I wouldn't agree necessarily with the unplayable.
Or he's high owned on FanDuel. He's high,
he's high on both for sure.
Yeah,
yep.
I don't like that because the PPR is what's going to get him there, not touchdowns here.
It's again, there's just a massive gap in pricing. That's what it comes down to.
I didn't look at it. Yeah. So is he cheap enough that it just makes sense at some point?
He's pretty much $1,500 cheaper than the closest playable guy, which is Derrick Henry.
Unless we get Emmanuel Wilson.
Well, no, that's
Charbonnet.
Yeah, of course, you're playing Emmanuel already. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Sharps, or we get a second one of those. But Burns, in this group here, do you have any standout plays that you're putting in your single entry this week that you're like, that's my guy?
Yeah, if I had to put one of these guys in, when we get news of the Green Bay rush game, that'll pop up Emmanuel Wilson. But right now, just operating under the assumption that he doesn't play and it's Josh Jacobs. I think Travis Etienne could have a really good game here against the Cards. So I don't mind him at all in this one, but he has like some issues because he's got Tootin behind him, and so it's a tough one with him. But I can understand if somebody wants to get, if they feel like, hey, ETN could have a good game. Well, I could see why you think that. So, but Tootin's he's ceding shares to Tootin quite a bit here. So
yeah, he's a real threat.
Yeah, I'm not in love with ETN for that reason. I'm not trying to. It's not like that offense is sexy enough to support, most offenses can't support, two kind of 50-50 running backs, but
yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, he's a tough one. Yeah. And I just haven't really pulled the trigger with him at this point in time where I'm like, yeah, he's the dude. Right. But I don't think so. I don't know. Still in that, can I trust this phase of the research? But another guy that I think is probably going to be under-owned this week for his potential to break out is David Montgomery. Everybody going towards Jahmyr Gibbs in this week. And these are the weeks where David Montgomery seems to have a really good week and he pops. And he's at home and he's popped before for 2 touchdowns. And 40, 50 yards, and he does okay. And he gets in and around 20-ish, 21 points, and he's making tournament value. So I really don't mind David Montgomery this week. Similarly, because this game, I think Detroit could blow up, and everybody gets a piece of the action.
Could be one of those. Could be one of those games where Monty, just pops off a couple times.
Yep.
I could see it. Josiah.
Yeah. This whole running back section is just disgusting here. I desperately need some news to make someone feel good here. I'm with y'all. Like Montgomery's fine. Who else do I have a decent amount of exposure to?
Again, I think we all agree, though. Let's just make a group agreement. If Emmanuel Wilson is starting, we're playing him.
Yeah, that's what it is here. Is really, I like the pricey guys we touched on earlier, and I'm desperately looking for some value. Right now, I'm taking shots on guys like Swift and Genty and Williams and Montgomery. Montgomery, I don't hate just because of the high total, but I strongly dislike all those plays, but it's just out of desperation that I'm doing it. So I don't really have any super strong stands. It's just hoping for some good news later.
I got to bring up, in the chat here, BobbyWow, G-Funk has been a big supporter this week of saying, you know what, maybe this is the week to finally play Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. Only, I guess, let me qualify that. I think Kamara is coming off of 22 touches. Okay, so he is, assuming he plays, which he's going to, he is going to get the bulk of the work, and this is as good of a matchup as it gets. So if Tyler Shook is playing competently, which my friend seems to think he
Could
is.
happen. Stranger things have happened.
At Kamara's price, assuming no other value opens up, he is a legitimate low tier option in this range. If you're going to get 25 touches, I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's the ghost of AJ Dillon. If you're going to get 25 touches, you are worth consideration, especially in a matchup as juicy as the one against the Falcons. So it's gross. I don't feel great about it, but if no other value opens up, it's one of the few legitimate options in this range.
It's kind of gross. I feel like AJ Dillon would need 50 carries in order to produce a reasonable fantasy performance.
You're probably right.
Need a 50 burger. Yeah, I agree with you guys. This section here is highly dependent. There's one player that we didn't really talk about. I'm going to bring him up. I'm just going to bring him up and throw him out there. I like this guy a little bit better, I think, than ETN because at least he doesn't have a vulture hanging around to take half the touches. I think Quishon Judkins is an acceptable play here this week. He's going to get all of the carries against the Raiders. Raiders aren't that good. And while I don't think that the Browns are going to score very frequently in this game, they're probably going to hand it to Judkins if they get close to the goal line. The last thing any team wants to do is have a neophyte quarterback trying to figure out how to throw for a touchdown from the 5-yard line. That you need to practice that separately from everything else. It's like its own animal in the NFL, and goal line, even mildly experienced quarterbacks cannot throw for touchdowns in the red zone. They have to run for it. So I think if the Browns get anywhere near the goal line, you're going to see...
Which is a wild assumption.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. But it is the Raiders. We're not talking about... I think they'll get there just on defense. I think Browns defense turns it over, sack. They're right there. Judkins, boom. 2 touchdowns for Judkins on Sunday, folks. Not 1, 2.
The Raiders are going to stuff the box and make Shador beat them, plain and simple. I can't get on board. Max Crosby he's going to be controlling the gate. That is the defensive line. They're going to send everybody and anybody. They're going to make Shador beat him with their arm. I just can't get behind it. I don't like Monty either. I think, look, he's going to prove me wrong this week, but I think we need to stop pretending that Monty is in the same role as he's been in previous seasons with Ben Johnson as the coordinator. Monty just hasn't been that. He had one pop game where he had like one massive run at the end of the game that propelled him to a huge score. Other than that, he's been right around 8, 9, 10 fantasy points just about every week. It's been the Jahmyr Gibbs show. Now, could that change? Is it a great matchup? Yeah, of course. But I've just told myself I can't keep pretending that Monty's in the same role as he was last season, because it's pretty clear that he's not, at least in this system that Campbell's running. So
yeah,
guys, my takeaway from this conversation, and the watchers as well, my takeaway from our conversation on running backs is, for the most part, outside of our injury replacement situations, which will create massive bargains. But if those didn't happen, the more sexy plays are certainly going to be the pay-up options. And in order to afford those, we're going to need to find some wide receiver value to open up the Gibbs, open up the Bijan, the Derrick Henrys, and those plays at running back. We're probably also, again, without any injuries, including Manny Wilson, the whole Josh Jacobs thing. If we don't get any of that, I can't believe that Jaylen Warren is playing. They said the guy got a high ankle sprain. What? They must have. Where's Dr. Deepak Chona? I need that guy's Twitter account, because I must be getting wrong information about high ankle sprains, dude. I thought that was like 4 weeks. I don't think you're coming back the next week. What the heck's going on out there?
Let me bring it full circle quick with Chase Brown. This is why Chase Brown is chalky, because look at his props projection. Look at the price relative to everybody else in this range. We're talking about guys like Alvin Kamara, Monty, like Chase Brown at the volume, even against all Madden team, is just a superior play. Look at that props projection.
It's massive. Listen, for as terrible as this matchup is, Chase Brown is liable to see 8 or 9 targets. This could be a Devon Achane situation where he just gets there on pure volume of receptions alone. You get 7 receptions, each one of those for 5 yards, you're already putting up 13 or 14 points. And then whatever else happens. Like, it's a very short trip from anytime you're going to get 7 or 8 receptions. it's a very short trip from that to 4x 6K salary, to that 22-point performance that we need to say this was a good play this week.
Can I put one more thought out there?
Yeah.
Assuming no other value opens up, Aaron Jones will be the highest scoring running back below 6K.
Oh, stop. Oh, my God. Against the Packers?
Yep.
Is it like we're going revenge narrative here and just believing in that?
Not as much that, but he is the only guy that Kevin O'Connell trusts in the backfield. And you got to think, after seeing JJ try to throw the ball down the field last week, Aaron Jones' targets are just going to tick up again this week. Some short game. He's on the field. He's getting targets. And, 5,700, if I'm getting cute, he's probably the guy I'm getting cute with.
Wow. I mean, it's a tough match. I wish I could buy into this, but it's just
I need
not
to see what
that...
these targets look like.
Yeah, 6. Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's the work is there. I definitely agree with you. They trust him, and he is far and away the better running back. Although, of course, Mason just broke one last week and randomly put up the better score. But Aaron Jones has been good when on the field, but at the same time, it's the Packers, dude, and the Packers are where fantasy points go to die. Like it's just not a place where you want to put players against them. It hasn't been a good play. Didn't we just see the Packers again? Oh yeah, the Packers-Eagles just play 7-3. So like, it's gross there. But the receptions and Aaron Jones, a little revenge. Is it still revenge after he's had 5 games against this?
No, he loves the Packers though.
He's been there. He's been away from them for 2 years now. So
yeah, I'm saying, does it count as revenge anymore? No.
But he's still not a good play.
Yeah.
Metrically.
No, I mean, road running. I mean, it certainly doesn't make a whole lot of sense on paper.
Look, I'm not trying to say he's a good play.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if we're going to talk about getting cute with other guys, he's the one I'm getting cute with at 5,700. That's all.
I just need some value. I need some news. That's all I know. After hearing all these crazy ass names, I just need some news.
What about Hunt? No one mentioned Kareem Hunt.
Well, I don't know if we got down to that range yet, but yeah, he's also in the mix too.
John Marchese is all over Kareem Hunt. I don't know. Kareem Hunt, boring. It's just boring.
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 No, I can get on board with Hunt, especially with Forrest being out for the Colts. Like, he hasn't really shown a lot of upside so far this season, but this price range is god awful. So you can talk me into it.
Pacheco's been out forever, and Hunt has
a 15 from Hunt gets it done at 5,100.
Think so? You think so?
Yeah,
probably.
I do.
That might be the ceiling, though. That might be the ceiling.
He's right around where he's been. I mean, yeah, he's had some bad games too, but
yeah, I know,
gross,
guys.
Man. We need value.
I don't want to disappoint anybody with the Jameis. I love Jameis as a player. I'm going to say this again, just like I told you guys last week, because this is for the brand, right? I love Jameis as a player. I love him as a person. I was the first to love Jameis. Before it was cool to love Jameis, I was loving Jameis. Okay? Before it was cool and before everybody else was doing it.
The real ones love him after they're cool, Kev. And that's
the real ones love him before.
Here.
That's a Jet fan. I don't get on board the bandwagon. I root for the lovable underdogs. That's how I've always been. I like the lovable underdogs. But it's just really tough, man. The Giants have nothing going on at wide receiver, and this guy needs someone to throw to. Like, he's not running for touchdowns. So but yeah, I mean, I kind of like Dart when he was supposed to play this week. Should I play some JMO? Maybe, I want it to work, but
I know we got to move on. But did you see that last play of the game though? He threw a perfect pass. His receiver just stopped. I think it was Kurt Warner or one of the quarterbacks analyzed. He's like, I've never seen a wide receiver stop here. He's undercuts the safety every time they run this route, and it's a touchdown. He just stopped. I think Jalen Hyatt or something. It just, to your point, it's bad.
Yeah, it's just like they're so bad, and Wan'Dale is just not a big play guy. Like, he's not. He needs. If Slayton is back, right? Slayton is a Winston type of wide receiver that could work, and it is not a bad matchup. It's perfectly great of a matchup indoors, and so yeah, maybe. Let's see if Slayton comes back. Maybe he's our nauseous, our vomit stack, our nauseous stack, our silly. Maybe it's Winston. I don't mind it, guys. We're gonna move on to the wide receiver position for NFL Week 12, but I want to first mention that we have a very big promo coming up next week, guys. And they said that we can mention it here and that it will be valid if you want. We're not going to show all the creatives, but Brady just whispered in my ear that he's cool for us to mention it. For Black Friday, guys, we have a special coming up where it's going to be 25% off any one of our subscriptions at DFS Army. 25% off any of the subs. I'm talking VIP, the annual, the all the different VIP, the NFL only, whatever it is that if you've been wanting to check out DFS Army, this is the time. I know I'm supposed to wait till next week. I can't help it. BF 2020, because I like the early Black Friday sale. BF 2025 is the promo code on DFS Army. BF Black Friday 2025, BF 2025. It's going to knock 25% off of the cost of any of our subs. We don't do these kind of promos. You'll never see it preseason. You'll never see it ever. So if you've been wanting to check it out, you watch the show, you're like, hey, those guys seem cool, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Maybe if there's a deal out there, this is your time. Go do it now. It's valid. BF 2025. You can literally sign up for VIP, covers all sports. You can do the NFL only if you want and check out what NFL is for the last couple of months. We have the greatest Thanksgiving Day slate ever coming up next weekend. I'm not even joking. I checked out the games, dude. You could not have scripted it better. I don't even know how. Every single player is in on that one. It's crazy. It's so good. So we have one of the greatest 3 gamers you're ever going to see. We're going into December where there's Saturday football, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There are games on Wednesday night. Like, what the fuck? Can I have a day off? That's what's going on in December. This is that time to get signed up. Promo code BF 2025.
Can I interject 1 second?
Yes.
Are we doing 2 tournament tactics shows next week? One for the Thanksgiving and one for Friday?
There will be a show on Wednesday. As well as Friday, yes.
Just
we got to break down the 3-gamer. Absolutely, got to. It's one of the greatest slates of the year. I love the 3-game slate. I've told you this for years, and this one is very difficult. It's so good, but also really difficult. But I like it. I don't care. I think we'll talk about it next week. I'm not getting into it. I've already started thinking about it, but I'm not getting into it. All right, wide receivers, guys. I've got a couple of 3K level wide receivers that we're going to talk about at the end of this. I know Bobby's already doing eye rolls. Yesterday I said it, or last week I said about Michael Wilson, and you eye rolled me on that. I got 3K wide receivers, and I believe I might find a gem within that group. You only need one. You only got to be right once. I could be wrong on 3 other ones, but if I'm right on one of them, that's the only thing you'll ever hear about. Never ever mention when it's wrong.
We were right on 2 of them.
Oh, last week crushed. Forget about last week. I mean, last week was ridiculous, Burns. But I mean, Dortch and Wilson was crazy. Core plays, come on. But I'm not going to go take it that far. I don't know.
Your core plays list was crazy. You had like 20.
No.
It's longer than Santa's list.
But I do a video with core plays in it. I literally was like Jacoby Brissett to Michael Wilson and Trey McBride as your core starting. Like I made a video. Like the evidence is there. I don't know what to say. Naked Josh Allen, Brissett double stacks. Like the video exists from last week. What are we saying that didn't happen? Good. Yeah, I mean, what do we want to do? It happened. See, Nesto's already looking at my list. He watched the video. That's why I did a video on this earlier.
I was just about to ask you to just assure us that Adonai Mitchell wasn't going to be
I already see. I made the video earlier, the core video, and I added a couple of sleepers in there. But
wait,
it's already done. This guy loves every wide receiver. Yes, he does. All right, let's get into it. Wide receiver group. NFL Week 12. I'm going to sort by ownership. Top dog on the slate is the sun god himself, Amon-Ra. Okay. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Devontae. Guys, I see a weird anomaly in the props projections between Devontae and AJ Brown. And I'm going to need you guys to clarify why the fuck AJ Brown is propping out 2 points higher than Devontae Smith. We'll talk about that in a second because it's curious. There's Michael Wilson, my guy. Wandy with Jameson Williams. Acceptable. Okay. All right. Detroit #1 against opposing wide receivers and DVP. Interesting. Rice, Diggs, Steffi Diggs in there. AJ Brown, J-Mo Williams, T. Higgins covered by Gonzalez. Tough matchup. Anything stand out here, Burns, on the ownerships that you're like, that's weird?
No, I think it's pretty much about where it needs to be. I mean, yeah, I could see maybe Wandell being a little too high. I don't know. When he's this high, he just doesn't get it done. It's when you want him in the 7s and below, like 7% and below, where he actually does pop off. I think Rashee Rice might be a little low. I mean, 13.5% ownership on him. That's low for him. Yeah,
a little surprised there. I'm a little surprised on Rice. Not so shocked on Amon-Ra and Jackson Smith and Jigba, although I don't know that I want to pay $9K for JSN in the non-competitive matchup. But love JSN. He's awesome.
Yeah, highest price wide receiver on the slate. That's always a tough pill to swallow. I mean, he was that last week. We saw last week we had the top 3 guys, right? We had Puka, we had JSN and Chase, and they all dudded.
That ruined my week.
It was just a showing that you didn't need those top 3 guys to produce, and they just faltered. But each week is different, and this week could be a different week than the last. So
yeah, and there are some sneaky names and some interesting matchups that we'll get to. But yeah, ownerships, interesting. But nothing really shocks me in a bad way. All right, let's go studs and duds here, guys. There's a lot of matchup based considerations here at the wide receiver position, of course, but kind of the expensive group here. You're talking Pickens, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. All of these guys are studs in their own regard, but many of them have some flaws. So let's get into this group and some thoughts on them. BobbyWow, I'll start with you on this one. Give me 2 of your favorite, who, if you're paying up this week at wide receiver, which are the 2 wide receivers of this group that you're like, again, one-offs. I get it. If I'm playing Mahomes, of course I'm playing Rice, but as a one-off play, which of these guys are you kind of naturally clicking?
That's very easy for me. It's Amon-Ra and Rashee Rice. We've talked about Goff, talked about the spot, the Lions coming off a loss, and Amon-Ra has looked bad. It feels like, for whatever reason, this Lions team course corrects extremely well. Coming out of a loss, I expect Goff and Amon-Ra to be in sync again. I love Amon-Ra. I think he's the best all-format play on the slate on DraftKings.
Wow. Okay.
Full 1K discount off of JSN too, which this is a really cheap price tag for Amon-Ra and a dream matchup. And then Rashee Rice, we've talked about it with the Chiefs at home. It's a Colts defense that is stronger now with some of their secondary healthy. Obviously they got Sauce there. But when Pat Mahomes wants to go to a receiver, he's going to find his receiver. And that has been Rashee Rice since he's returned from injury. So to me, he's a little bit more GPP than Amon-Ra is. I think very similar upside, for a tiny bit cheaper price tag. So those 2 guys to me stand out, among the rest.
Yeah. Significant ownership discount as well, going from RSB to Rice for sure. Josiah, how about you? You kind of agreeing here with BobbyWow? Got a different thought here on these studs?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against Amon-Ra, and I'll have exposure. My priority this week, though, is going to be JSN. Last 2 weeks, it hasn't worked out so great for me, but I honestly couldn't even tell you who the corner is for the Titans in this spot. And the nice thing for me is it's JSN for Seattle. And I really like lineups with JSN and JMO. And I can have exposure to 2 offenses I see really going off. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. I'm still digging in the weeds a bit when it comes to CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I just don't know what they're going to do. I know week 1 when the Cowboys went up against the Eagles, Quinyon Mitchell covered George Pickens the vast majority of the game, but it wouldn't shock me if they decide to switch things up a little bit just to let Pickens eat a bit more. So I just have some question marks there. And then Rice is obviously in a good spot. As we talked about with the matchups, he has the softest one, even though all of the Colts cornerbacks, when healthy, are pretty solid right now. So, but he's in the best spot for the Chiefs. So I'll have some exposure to him as well.
Yeah, I like it. Burns, I know you like to dive deep into matchups. Some tough matchups out of this group, right? And that's a little bit of that CeeDee Lamb Pickens thing. But of course, T. Higgins going up against Christian Gonzalez. That's scaring you at all?
Yeah, T. Higgins is completely off the board for me. Christian Gonzalez is a really good defensive back in the NFL. He's shut down numerous WR1s for the team that they go up against when he was healthy in the past. And I don't see it in this game where T. Higgins is going to be anything special. T. Higgins actually needs Jamar Chase in a game like this to actually produce. And since Jamar Chase is actually out because of the suspension, I just don't see how T. Higgins is going to produce the quality that you need of production from fantasy wise to get even near 30 points that he needs to pay off this 7,100 salary point. Even if he got 15, he's not doing anything for you, and that's probably about where he's going to be, if that. So yeah, T. Higgins is off the board for me. Guys, I'll flag Planet on Amon-Ra this week as an all format play. Like, wow. He's a really good play. I agree with Bobby on this one. Amon-Ra is probably a top play on the entire board for me at the wide receiver spot. JSN, it's purely a salary thing. I think JSN is an absolute beast in this offense, and they target him and they target him and they target him. But it's a price point. It's similar to Jonathan Taylor. It's purely salary. So I'd take the $1,000 savings off of JSN and go right down to Amon-Ra here. And then Rashee Rice, he's a good play as well. So I'm on board with those both. So, and then I got to look at Pickens a little bit more in detail, but I think Pickens might actually be a really good play this week too as well. So
Quinyon Mitchell on CeeDee Lamb.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be another. Pickens is goating up week after week. Like, he just looks better each week. He looks better each week. He just keeps getting better and better. All right. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, for the most part, I don't really love any of these pay up options in terms of like somebody that I'm force feeding. Not like last week where I was like, I'm force feeding Jamar Chase and Puka and all these lineups that really didn't work out because of that. I'm just interested that no one like CeeDee Lamb kind of like is not interesting anymore, and George Pickens is on the up, and you could see it in the projections. I mean, I don't think Justin Jefferson is playable in this matchup at all. So yeah, this top group outside of Amon-Ra and Rice is for me my favorite because I'll have that stack a lot, but maybe as a standalone play, right? Amon-Ra, and it's crazy that Amon-Ra even is in the same price point as Rice because I kind of have him maybe a mini tier above Rice in terms of his overall fantasy upside or whatever we want to call that. But yeah, it's really just those two for me as we're paying up all the way. Let's scroll down and take a look at the next group of wide receivers. The next category, sort of the mid 6K down to 6,500 down to 5K. Talking Diggs, Olave in that matchup with Tyler Shook. Yikes, right? So scary. You got Zay Flowers there again, non-competitive maybe. Rome Odunze, very up and down player. Hard to trust Rome Odunze, but when he gets it done, he gets it done. Mikey Pittman here in a tough matchup as a WR1 against the Chiefs. And then you got this crazy, look at this anomaly, guys. Explain to me why AJ Brown is a 14-4 and Devontae is a 12-5. What do they know? What is going on here?
They watched last week's game.
Yeah, but neither guy was catching a pass. Like what happened last week?
Or maybe I'm thinking 2 weeks ago. I felt like AJ Brown was being targeted significantly more, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
They force fed him a little bit, but I think Smith has outscored him most weeks. It's just really weird.
Yeah,
That's true. He has outscored him. Yes.
Smith
Yeah.
has looked so much better in every avenue when it comes to just getting open. Even if Hurts can't always get him the ball. Maybe it's the squeaky wheel narrative. Everyone's been crapping on AJ, but the prop shouldn't really take that into consideration.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't make sense.
Why? What does that have to do with the prop? I don't know. Just
That's like, the play I would like. Like, I like AJ Brown because
AJ Brown was targeted 11 times. He was targeted 11 times last week compared to Devonta's 5. Devonta caught 1 pass. I know it's just 1 week, but
yeah,
it feels like the squeaky wheel is becoming real. Like that is in motion already. And we saw it last week. I think that's probably the only reason.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, they had more interviews with him where, they're trying to get past it. I know that AJ Brown talked with the owner of the team and they were like, yeah, I love it here. There was a lot of kumbaya stuff going on over there in the last couple of weeks. So we'll see. There was some kumbaya. That's what, I don't know how else to describe it. Wandy with Jameis Winston there. I would say that's real. Parker Washington, maybe we need a comeback on those Brissett stacks. Maybe Parker, maybe
Jacoby. Jacoby's the guy I'm coming back with.
Yeah, probably maybe Jacoby, maybe Parker. Booties might be back, a little booty back. I got that booty back. Give me that booty back. He's come back.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Did that work? I don't know. And so that's our group here from 6,500 down to 5K. So once again, Burns, of that group, Jameson Williams, a lot of people saying, hey, don't play Amon-Ra, play Jameson. Same thing for cheaper. I don't know about that, but certainly has had a couple of good games and seems to be on the upswing in the last few weeks. So with that, I'll go to you, Burns. In this area here, who are the standout plays? What is a Shark Lab? What do the numbers say? Give me a couple of plays here that you're going to aggressively.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough week in this salary range for these guys. I don't know how much I'm going to be on this range because of the fact that some of these guys are just, it's going to be tough. AJ Brown has passed to success in this week, as does Devonta. So I don't mind them at all. I'm probably not going to be on Wandell. I just don't think he's going to get it done. I think one of the guys that, who could actually produce this week is, and if you're going that New Orleans game, is Chris Olave. He's targeted a lot. He can be targeted a lot in this game. And, he's just a volume type of player, and then if he gets a touchdown, then he's in the 26 range. So he's a guy that could pop.
24 points last week for Olave with Tyler Shook.
Yeah, so he can pop, and Atlanta's nothing special. But yeah, like Jameson Williams, I said it earlier, since Dan Campbell has been taking over the play calling duties, Jameson Williams has been utilized more in this offense, and he could actually pop in this game once again. He's already popped twice now for double for the teens and higher into the 20s, and so this Giants team is nothing special in their secondary, and they can be exploited definitely over the top. And I could see how they could, Jameson Williams could beat them definitely in their defensive schemes for sure.
I don't like the salary hike on Jameson Williams, if I'm being honest. I liked him under 5K. That was exciting. Then you get that 20-pointer, and it's great. Here, if he gets me a 20-pointer, it's like,
I actually like it more because it takes more people off of him.
Could be.
And lowers his ownership projection, his projected ownership. So he's against the scheme, he's one of the top guys. So I like him a good bit.
All right. I like it. Josiah, how about you? In this sort of mid zone here, a lot of mid choices. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, and I see someone mention in the chat that AJ Terrell got torched by T-Mac, and that's just not what really happened. T-Mac was used way more in the slot than he really ever has been so far, so AJ Terrell is still a legit corner. But I actually like this range a good amount. There's a lot of receivers who are standing out for me. The tough part about Diggs this week is with Booty back, it goes back to us not really being able to trust these receivers. We've seen Diggs have a strong game in week 5, but ever since week 9, which is when Booty got hurt, it was pretty volatile between the two, but they both still had some explosion games. So both of those guys are going to be guys I have exposure to. Also, Devontae Smith, like you mentioned, Burns, he's going to be a priority for me on this slate. I'll have exposure to A.J. Brown, just kind of trusting the prop projection. And then I touched on Zay Flowers at the start of this. Love this spot for him. He's going to be a leverage play for me.
Zay Flow.
And no one likes him because he's pricey, and he hasn't really had a lot of upside ever since week 1. But like I keep saying, I think this is a get-right spot for the Ravens this week, so I'll be way over the field.
All right. I like it. Zay Flowers, man, so overpriced for his average production. And that's my biggest concern with him. Like, give me some targets, bro. Like, he started off the season with these 2 big games, and then they're like, oh, let's price him up. And they went from like his usual 5,500 up to 7K. And I'm like, what the heck is that? 6,900 for a while.
Bateman
His salary's been gradually coming back down, but man, still spendy. BobbyWow, how about you? This group here.
I think it's similar for me. I'm buying into the AJ Brown thing. I just watching the game last week. Again, looking at the box score, obviously see the targets. The score wasn't great, but I swear it was like he looked like those like Snickers commercials where he took a bite of a Snickers and he finally looked like AJ Brown a couple years ago when he was a beast. Like, he had the look in his eye. He was catching the football. He was being targeted a ton, and especially down the stretch. The Eagles weren't running. They were throwing to A.J. Brown. So it felt like something shifted there. And maybe it was just a one-game thing. But seeing the 11 targets, again, in crunch time, no less, I think is telling for me. And Devonta Smith is currently projected to be higher owned. So I kind of like the A.J. Brown side of it. Will it probably burn me? Sure. But I'm buying in for at least 1 week. It felt like he bit the Snickers last week. He looked different.
I like them. I like them both. I just think you could play, you could play wide receivers against Dallas, and Brown and Slim Reaper are both good plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know where the ball's going to go, but clearly the bettors and the money likes AJ Brown this week for whatever reason more than Smith. They've been neck and neck on the props. Like, that's why it stands out to me so much. I've looked at their prop the last few weeks. It's identical. This is the first time there's any separation between those two. So like someone knows something. Someone knows something. Yeah, from this group here, I'm pretty much in agreement with a lot of what you guys said. It's Brown and Smith for me that kind of pop. I'm okay with Jameson Williams. It's fine. But generally, I'm not in love with most of the players in this zone. So I think I'm going to be a lot of above it or below it. And that's just how I think stuff will come together. Again, unless we get those running back values, which will change things around. But as of right now, as I sit, I'm less in love with this group. I think a lot of them have flaws. Again, Rome Odunze, fine. I like that, by the way. Let's not take that out. The Steelers are allowing the most fantasy points per game to wide receivers on the season. Rome Odunze's hit or miss, though. He's going to hit. He's going to miss. You don't know when it's coming. So I don't feel safe with him outside of big tournaments, but probably only stacked with Caleb, if I'm honest. And I'll probably reserve both Brown and Smith mostly for my Hurts lineups because I'm going to have a lot of Hurts lineups. And I need to contain the damage. If it doesn't go well, I want to contain it to those lineups and not have it destroy everything that I do. Wandy, I maybe like a little bit better than you. I don't know that he has a lot of upside, but I could see Wandale getting to 20.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it.
Absolutely.
I'm with you on that. I forgot to mention that maybe, but the targets are there, Kevin.
Yeah.
I like it.
9 targets, 11. This guy gets a lot of target, and it is Jameis Winston. Maybe he'll throw it to him deeper. Mm-hmm. It's a much, much easier matchup. They were against the Packers last. That's a tough matchup. Yeah. So this is a little bit easier of a situation.
Especially Detroit scoring the way we think they will.
Guys, I think a lot of money's going to be made under 5K at wide receiver this week, and I have a lot of them that are popping off for me. And so let's get into that group because this is a really important part of the slate this week. We're going to have to find some pay down options. I'm going to talk through a few of them. You got Alec Pierce, again, in that game against KC. He's been pretty much the best guy as a wide receiver with Daniel Jones. Him and Pittman, it has not been downs. Pierce is just on the rise at this point. You got, of course, Michael Wilson coming off the smash game last week, and in the same exact situation, dude, this guy had 18 targets. That is absolute madness, and he caught 15 of them, which is also crazy. A lot of times you see 18 targets, 10 receptions. No, 15 receptions. Awesome. Darnell Mooney without any competition. Drake London is out this week. It's not a tough matchup. The only problem is Kirk Cousins is so worse. I'm not even sure that he could do anything with anybody. But if he can, why not Darnell? He's had a lot of good games, specifically with Cousins in his career. Worthy, Myers there. We talked a little bit about him. A couple other plays as well as you keep going down. Yoshivas in the better matchup for the maybe Joe Burrow and the Bengals, for all we know. Yoshivas. So with that being said, and to that background, a couple others here that we'll talk about even under 4K. But Burns, give me a couple plays down here. Give me the sneaky plays that are going to win us a tournament via the Shark Lab.
Dang, I think you already talked about all of them. So
there are more. I didn't say Dortch. I left you a Hollywood Brown if you want. Mac Hollins. He's getting 90% of the touches.
Yeah, it's definitely not a Hollywood Brown week this week. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember who said it, but Jacoby Myers might actually be the top play in this whole entire grouping of guys. I mean, like,
I love him.
He started to get some serious run last week with Trevor Lawrence, and Parker Washington kind of went to the wayside a little bit last week. It was just like Jacoby, and yeah, he only got 11, but it was how he was targeted. It was how he was utilized. He's only been in the offense for 2 weeks, and they're just they're looking for him. And I could see him having a better game. Is it going to be a 25 point? I don't know. We never know week to week, but he could definitely pop even more this week than 11 points. I think we could see him, hovering around 20. And, at 4,700, that's great for Jacoby Myers. It's when he's 5,700, 5,600 and he hovers around 20, and it's not so good for Jacoby Myers. So at his salary point, I don't mind this at all. I think I think he is definitely in play. Yeshavas, I mean, yeah, he operates out of the slot mostly. So Yeshavas, in this game, he could actually produce it out of the slot with no Jamar Chase and Christian Gonzalez basically blanketing T. Higgins. We talked about that earlier. So this could be where, Yeshavas actually produces a decent game. He's done it in the past where he's kind of just been lingering out there, and we have injuries and he pops, and this could be a game where he pops. So yeah, and obviously Mike, Wilson is definitely in play 100%. I mean, he's got to be in play with your Jacoby Brissett lineups and and he's a great salary relief point because of the fact that Trey McBride is pricey, and he offers you some salary relief off of that priciness, and you can afford both him and Jacoby and Trey McBride in the same lineup. So like it a lot.
Very doable. Very doable. The combos. Josiah, anybody popping for you? There's no Coker on this slate.
No Coker, but he started to wake up a little bit last week.
He started to make that whole offense started to just they all awoken
sign of things to come. I love it.
Yeah.
But I love the Myers play. It just makes so much sense to me. Mooney at 2% ownership is insane at 4,800. I'll have exposure there. DJ Moore is probably the one guy we didn't touch on. I like this offense in general. Everyone's starting to talk bad about him too. Like he's about to get pushed out of the offense. Like Burden's about to hop over him. I do think in the long run, Burden will step into those shoes. But in the short term, I like the spot against the Steelers. I do think he'll be able to have some explosive short passes against this Steelers team. And 4,900 is just too cheap for him. So he's someone else I'll be over the field on.
There we go. That was not on my radar at all. So I like that call. Open an eyebrow raiser right there. All right, Bobby. Wow. How about you? Some cheapies.
I think everyone covered my favorites. I love Jacoby. I love Michael Wilson. I'm a believer now, and that's kind of where I'll be living in this range, along with everybody else.
I've got more. I'm not done.
Are we dropping though below 4K here?
Yeah, we drop below 4K, okay. But one more in this zone. Jerry Jeudy, Shedeur Sanders, Jerry Jeudy, best friends forever.
They weren't last week.
No, but they tried. But listen, Shedeur, he never practiced with the team. He's been on the scouting team, on the scout team. Now they got a week of practice together. They're gonna throw it he's gonna throw it to Jeudy or Tillman, but probably Jeudy. Who else is he gonna throw to? It's the Raiders, guys. This is not a tough defense. You want to attack these spots against mid to bad defenses, and that's what we're getting here. So I don't mind Jerry Jeudy either. Yoshivas, Jeudy. As a matter of fact, I had some dilemmas this week in some fantasy leagues where I'm like, who do I start? Yoshi, like a lot of these names were available, and I'm like sifting through them, and I had to really think about it. Like, man, you know what? I can make an argument for any of these guys. So I don't mind Jeudy there either. But BobbyWow, let's stay with you and let's shift gear to the cheaper zone before I reveal all my my super secret sneaky studs. Give me a couple of your under 4K picks here, if we can even go there.
Yeah, I think if there was ever a week to test the waters with Jeudy and just get silly, this is probably the week to do it. So I don't disagree with you there.
Appreciate it.
Another guy that I'll have some exposure to is Luther Burden. We kind of saw his emergence last week as far as usage is concerned. It didn't translate into points necessarily, but that's okay. At this price range, what I want to see is, are your snaps going up? Are your targets going up? Are you more involved? And Luther Burden, we already know he's a playmaker, so that involvement is key. To me, he's really cheap. The Steelers' passing defense is not great, and this could honestly be a game where Luther Burden makes a pretty big difference. So, not a play that I'm super high on, but definitely someone I'll be overweight on. Probably my favorite super cheapie.
I love it. I was waiting for that. Luther Burden getting more targets, getting more touches, getting more action. And it's the classic progression of the rookie wide receiver. It takes a minute to get involved. And usually the second half of the season, by the way, no one even ever heard of Brian Thomas Jr. until about week 9 last year. Like, it took half a season for just him to get his sea legs underneath him. And then he started to, actually, you know what? Maybe it was he had to get rid of T-Law and get Mac Jones in there. And then he actually started to do well. I'm not sure why that was, but maybe that would happen. But generally, these rookie wide receivers start to improve as the season goes on. Josiah, how about you? Any like, give me one sub 4K-er that you're down with this week. Or if you got none, then it's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite one was going to be Burden too. I just like the Bears offense this week, which has been a weird trend this season. I missed last year when I could really just trash on them all the time. Now I can only do it sparingly. But outside of that, I don't want to take your calls, your guys, Kevin. I like these Jets receivers this week against the Ravens, so I'm not going to steal your thunder.
Yeah, there we go. Appreciate that. Burns, how about you?
Yeah, Burden's probably, top choice down here in this under 4K range. One guy that could actually pop this week, Alika Aomayor,
he might not play, Burns.
Is out.
Yeah.
But Chimere Dyke is also starting to get some real run in this offense. And he is a guy that could actually pop this week without a leak out. He's out. So those targets could go to him. I'm not saying it's anything special. I'm not even going there. It's such a slim, thin play that, but his prop projection is popping. I mean, it's 8.5. It's near 8.5 points, and for a guy that's like 3,900, that's not terrible. But then he's still a thin play. I wouldn't put any significant ownership on it. But yeah, so
I'm not comfortable saying his name, so I'm just going to avoid it.
Chimere.
I like it. I like that.
Chimere.
No, not that part.
Dyke. Yeah,
I'm not saying that. No.
Okay.
No.
But that is his name. So
I'm a big supporter of all people. I refuse. All right. I've got a couple here, guys. First of all, somebody mentioned, Tillman also. You talk about Shadur Sanders and you want to get stupid. Tillman is also perfectly stupid of a play to put in there with Sanders. So I like Tillman as a player, and he's healthy now, so that's cool. But yeah, the guys I want to talk about, of course, I love Burden. I'm with everybody. I think Burden is actually somebody, not even just in the Caleb line. I think we could sneak him into some regular lineups too, and just like see if it might be too early, and we could be egg on face. But I'd rather be maybe too early than too late. I don't know. I think it's worth a shot in tournaments for that upside. But you got to look at listen, these guys are terrible. I get it. But one of Adonai Mitchell, John Mechie, or even Isaiah Hodgins. My favorite of the group is probably Adonai Mitchell because it does seem like he might be the most get open level talented of that group. They do have a real quarterback that's going to play. It's not Fields. It's going to be Tyrod. He's going to throw the ball. It's not Fields and 14 targets in total for an entire game. This will be Tyrod. He's probably going to throw the ball 30 times, right? Fields would throw it 12 times, 60 yards. It's hard for a wide receiver to get there. The Jets don't have anybody else. Adonai Mitchell got 22% of the targets last week. Mechie, 16%. Are these guys good? No. But at this price point, is this a little bit better than maybe what the same price I could get for a tight end will do? Basically, you have to compare these guys and say, all right, at 3,200, here are my choices. Like some shitty tight end or this wide receiver, right? And some shitty tight end could easily get 12, 14 points. So, okay, fine. But I think these guys are somebody to have on your radar, not put in your cash lineup. Don't put them in your I do one $300 lineup a week and I used John Mechie in it. Don't do that. Or Adonai Mitchell. You don't want to do Adonai Mitchell in your expense. You'll have a heart attack. The guy's going to catch a ball and he'll have the easiest ball. He's going to drop it. He's going to be running for a touchdown and just drop the ball inexplicably because he wants to look cool. He will do every dumb-headed moronic move that a dumb-headed moron can do to fuck over your lineups. But in general, yeah, I think those guys were worth a look. And Burden was my sneaky fun play, but we've literally all loved him to the point where it's not sneaky at all. It's now group
Still
agreement.
Fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, but we got some group agreement on that whole situation. Guys, let's move on to the tight end position. But I just want to show something really quick here that happened in the DFS Army Discord in the Arb Talk room. Another member is just posting their picket, and I keep talking about Sharp app and the suite of Plus EV tools, advantage tools for advantage bettors at Sharp app, especially the arbitrage betting tool, guys. You want to check this out. You can get a free trial to check it out. Look, I'm going to show the member name, Tucker14. Talking about his November so far. I'm using $100 units, live arbs. So he's focused live arbs, starting in October using $25 units. In 2 weeks, I was limited on a couple sites, the bad sites, right? So I made the decision to move up to 100, get what I could, doing some parlays, mixing some shit in there. And he parlayed that into a $5,300 a month. Guys, this isn't like a normal betting slip where somebody shows their bets and it's you had a good month, but show me last month. This is consistent. When you're using these tools, you will consistently be green every day or most days. It's a lot of fun. It's like hunting for, it's really, I look at mining for crypto or something. You're in there doing these deals. They're always sitting there. They're always available. So I just want to recommend everybody, if you wanted to start taking some money back from those sports books, in a place where there are people to help you. In the chat here, you got Chapadon helping out as well. We've got Darth Poston there. We've got a crew that will help you get up and running with arbitrage betting and EV betting using the Proptimizer tool and the suite of EV tools that we have at Sharp App. So go check it out. Promo code Geek. Sharp.app is the website. Sharp App is the app. Do it on the website. I use the web. I prefer it, but the app is great too. It's full featured. You definitely can do that in California. We have guys doing it in Texas. We have guys doing it in states without primary sports books. You can do it from anywhere. So you can do it in California, and you can be making money. John Marchese, who gave you Sean Tucker, has been pregame arbing it in Florida. There's only one sports book in Florida. He's using exchanges. John, you making money with this thing? Let them know. John in the chat. He's right here he's one of you. He's up $2,320. He's tracking that shit. That's right, John. Hell fucking yeah. He's just one of you. He's one of us. You want to check out this tool. It's $69 a month, guys. But try it for the free trial. Try it for the free trial. $69 to make $5,000? Excuse me? Math doesn't work. $69. You only need to make, you don't have to make $5,000. How about make $500? Or be like John and make $2,200 a month. You can use, in California, you could use ProfitX. In California, you can use Novig. In California, you can use Fliff. In California, you could use Better. You can use Bet Online. Even more, ask John. John's in the chat. It's free money. 6 weeks, $2,200. He's in the chat. You can do this from anywhere. Get in our chat. Talk to Darth Pasta. He's in Texas. There is no DraftKings or FanDuel in Texas. There it is. What more can you say? Users in the chat are telling you this works. You are printing cash. I don't know what more I can convey. And then lose your money on the fucking DraftKings on the weekend and make it back arbing. It's like playing cash games. You might as well just arb that shit, make yourself $500, and then we'll blow it on DFS lineups. Let's go. Yeah, see? Fliff. Sure, you could use Fliff. There's more. There's Onyx odds. There's a whole pile of them. By the way, you could also use Polymarket. You can also use Robinhood and Kalshi. This works on the prediction markets as well. We have everything connected to the Sharp app. You've never seen anything like it. Still a trial. Yes. Geek. Promo code Geek. Sharp.app/geek. It will set you up in a free trial. Only one. You only get it to use it once. If you've already done the trial, you can't use it again. So if you've already done the trial, just go in and sign up. You don't even need, for pregame arbs, you do not need the $179 plan. You only need the $69.99 one. It gets you everything you need, the Proptimizer, all the pregame props. When you're ready to graduate to live in-game, and that does require being in a betting state, then you can upgrade. But if not, hang in there, do the base subscription, the $69.99 a month. You're going to make a couple grand a month on a $69 subscription. I can't give you more than that. I cannot do more than that. It's glorious. Bobby Wow's over Arbin out of Chicago.
I am. It's true. The rumors are out.
Yeah, loving it. All right, tight end position. NFL Week 12. Play. Wait a minute. Scroll to the top here. Play Trey. Done. Need we say more?
Just play Trey. Just play him.
Yeah. Fucking love this shit, John Marchese. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I appreciate you, by the way, letting everybody know. I appreciate you letting everybody know. I really do. Because I want the word out, guys. I want everybody to be rolling in. I want you to be rolling it. I want everybody to be successful. I want you to be happy. When you take money back from the sports books, that's the number one thing, too. If you've been betting, take that money back from them. Don't let them take your money. All right. Trey McBride. Burns, do we need to do anything else? Can we stop there?
He's pretty damn good. I mean, he's 5 points over the next closest guy, and it's crazy, you know, and $800 separation of salary, and he's 5 points on a prop projection over him. It's just nuts. I mean, I don't know. He was 8 points last week, and he just smashed, you know, like he was 19 something prop projection last week, and he smashed at 30. I don't know if he hits 30 again. I mean, it's been 2 weeks in a row where he's hitting 30. He may not hit 30 again, but he's probably going to get close. I would put him at about 25 plus. And so, yeah, I think he's a good play this week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Top dog this week. You know, this guy's just been getting targeted like crazy. That being said, yeah, they did jack up the salary a little bit. They're making it a little more difficult to play him. So they're working it. They're making it just a little bit more difficult to play him. But let's talk through the after him. And look at that, Travis Kelce coming off that big game. He's popping second highest owned. You got Brock Bowers in there. I don't really like Brock Bowers when I can afford. If I'm paying up, I'm getting Trey, right? But Kyle Pitts, the ultimate in fool's gold.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it, Bobby. Wow, you look like you're falling for the Kyle Pitts thing. Don't fall for that.
I tried to tell you guys not to fall for him last week. Okay,
You did?
but
I didn't.
But here's the problem. Okay,
Oh, no.
It's
and
time.
this is even more magnified on FanDuel. He's way cheaper. He is on the field without Drake London. And he has a quarterback that maybe we don't even know if he can throw it past tight end distance on the field. The stars have aligned for Kyle Pitts. Okay. This is the week to play him, as gross as it is.
No.
This is the exception week. Yes.
You're getting sucked in. He's like a succubus. He's like one of the sirens. You're hearing the siren song. Play Pitts. No. He's so bad. And Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Kirk Cousins, too. So washed. So washed. Washed and bad combo. I'd rather play Juwan Johnson on the other side of that on the other side of that matchup. Juwan Johnson, there it is. BobbyWow fell into the pits with that play.
You either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain.
I don't know. Seriously though, that's not one of your top plays, is it?
Oh, not a top play. You got to make a case for him. On FanDuel, even more so. He's the cheapest, really one of the cheapest viable. It's bad.
Yeah, take me through a couple of your favorite plays. Let's get the Trey McBride thing out of the way, though. We all love Trey McBride.
Trey.
Agreed?
Yeah.
He's the mid-tier wide receiver that we've been begging for. And
We all
he's
love
really an upper tier at a mid-price.
Core
So, yeah,
play.
love him.
Yeah. So, if it's not McBride, then where are we going?
I think the proper jet to have exposure to here is not any of those wide receivers that made me throw up my mouth a little bit. The proper jet is Mason Taylor. You asked if there was a tight end in their price range that wasn't as gross. It is. There is. And actually, he's on the Jets, and it's Mason Taylor. I think with a competent quarterback under center, his floor, his ceiling all go up. We've seen him with some big games before the season, or at least a big game this season. And he's actually like a legitimate pass catcher. So at 3,400, he's probably my favorite tournament value at tight end this week.
Wow. Shocking. Let me ask you about the Bears combination of Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland. Both of them were on the field together almost the whole game last week. What the heck is going on over there?
That's what they do, man. They run 3 tight end sets, maybe more often than any team that I've seen this season. They use their tight ends. The problem is they don't use them a ton as pass catchers. So I think if you're going to play one, you got to play Loveland. He's the bigger playmaker. He's the more athletic tight end. But the reality is those guys are out there primarily for blocking right now. So I don't know that you could touch them as long as they're both healthy. Yeah, that's kind of what I'll say about that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the usage, and then I was like, when I brought up the matchups tool, I was like, what the heck is this? They're both on the field the whole damn game. If I could find the Bears, yeah, here we go. So there you go. Loveland, 75%, Cole Kmet, 79%. Like they're always on the field.
Durham Smythe was lining up at fullback.
Yeah, even Durham Smythe gets in
drive.
There. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Josiah, got some tight ends that are not Trey McBride that you might have some interest in this week.
Yeah, there's 2 that haven't been mentioned. I will double down. I do like Kyle Pitts this week, and I'm not overly afraid of it.
Correct.
But outside of that, Mark Andrews, Hunter Henry, just 2 offenses that I like a good amount. Hunter Henry has been a little disappointing here recently, but I do think there's still some meat on the bones at that price tag. And honestly, the exact same story with Mark Andrews. Last week, he didn't get a touchdown. He had 1 touchdown week before, 2 touchdowns the week before that. I do think he also gets back on track here too. Don't love Lamar +2, but I do like him in like maybe some single stack Lamar lineups.
I like that. Chat agrees with your like of Hunter Henry, and it's a good call out. Like, hey, if I mean, why not? I guess, if Hunter Henry seems to pop whenever we're not expecting it. Like, there's no great reasoning, but the Bengals are bad against everything. They're basically bad against everything. So anybody could go off against the Bengals. We have to play those players and just hold our nose. It's so tough to know which guy is going to get the ball.
That's why you go with the cheapest one, Hunter. I like that call.
Yeah, maybe go with the cheap guy. Especially if Drake May is going to be chalk, but 2 digs. So that's a different way to get kind of different with Drake May, I guess. Burns, who is the Shark Lab spitting out this week at tight end?
Yeah, with Mahomes, everybody's going to gravitate to Rashee Rice. I think Kelsey pops in this game. I think he pops in a big way. I think this is the play with Mahomes this week. It's easy to build lineups with him. Rashee Rice is pricey and it doesn't allow you to get to the stud running backs that you need to get to in this week. But Kelsey does. And I think Kelsey is the guy that pops this week. I think outside of Trey McBride, it's Kelsey for me. Wow. And if I need to go lower than him, there are some competent plays. I'm not going to be on Hunter Henry because I don't play away favored tight ends. It's just not a thing. They're not viable. They're not producing on a week-to-week basis, even in solidified matchups. They're not doing it this year. They're similar to the quarterbacks in that realm. Those two positions actually, the correlation between those two, where an away favored quarterback hasn't been there this year in these top winning lineups, nor has a way favored tight end. So I'm fading all way favored tight ends this week and every week. I've done it every week, and it's just something that has matriculated very well. So Hunter Henry, by all means, get Dallas Goedert. They both have really good matchups, but I'm fading them, and I don't think I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Wow.
But guys like, a guy that could actually pop this week, and he's been popping lately. And he had some run last week. I was hoping that he was going to have more, is Theo Johnson with the Giants. If Jameis Winston's going to do anything in this game, it's probably going to be via short passing situations. And this is kind of where where Theo Johnson comes into play. I like him more than I like Wan'Dale, because I think he gives you the same type of over the slot type plays, and he's much cheaper than Wan'Dale, and he's getting targeted. Outside of last week, he's been targeted eight times the week before, 6. He's doing it, and so I could see him producing this week. And his salary point is starting to come down. He's back into the 3s now, so I could see him popping a little bit this week as well. So
I like it. I'll add a couple of names into the mix. I like everybody that you guys talked about outside of Kyle Pitts, BobbyWow. I'm done with him. I'm just done with that fucking guy. I'm done with it. Fool's gold. I'm sick of it. He's been burned me. I'm a scorned ex-lover.
At least it's okay.
Yeah.
I get it. It's been a long time.
I have PTSD from Kyle Pitts and playing him as chalk a couple times. Why did I do that?
I feel you, man.
I do that? I'm going to give you a couple names here that I like. First of all, hold the laughter. Settle down. Brock Wright, going right back to it. It's the same shit as Laporta. Same. No difference. Is Laporta slightly better of a player? Maybe. Doesn't matter. He slots right into the role that Laporta plays on that team. When Laporta's gone, this guy gets extra targets for $3K. I don't mind it. You already love that game. How pissed are you going to be?
Yeah.
I've lived this with
I don't hate
Brock
it.
Wright.
That's a really good call.
Yeah.
I've lived it with this guy. This guy. I don't forget anything. I forget only good things. I never forget bad. And I've lived this. Okay, loading up on Laporta. I got Jahmyr Gibbs or whatever, or all those weapons, trying to figure out which of those weapons is going to get it done. And then Brock Wright, who wasn't even starting, comes in and catches 2 touchdowns in a game. That happened.
Yeah.
Twice. So that's happened more than once. Now, we don't have any excuse. We're like, oh, let's play Gibbs for 9K. Let's play fucking this guy for 12K. And Brock Wright comes in and just gets 2 touchdowns. Wouldn't it be the most DFS thing ever? It would have been a lot more DFS had I not mentioned it just now. That halfway ruins it. But still, I like those situations where something has happened already once before and it could happen again. I say Brock Wright. Why not?
That's a great call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Do it. Who cares? Scroll up. Yeah, I like your call. The Mace Taylor's fine. I think when you start to get too close to that 5K zone, you're right. You should all get sucked into Kelsey. We're over 5K. It's Trey McBride. Don't fuck around. I'm not on Brock Bowers this week. Love Brock Bowers. I don't like anybody against Cleveland. Cleveland defense is where fantasy points go to die, even on the road. I don't want it. Burns, agree?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want that.
They're just a good defense. I mean,
they are good.
Look what they did to Baltimore last week.
I mean, yes, they are good. Too good. Too good.
I mean, Myles Garrett had 4 sacks in that game.
It's been so good this year.
Mason Graham had, I think he had 1 or 2 on an interior defensive lineman. It's like, what? On Lamar? Now he goes up against Geno? Yeah.
Are we interested in Luke? Are we interested in Luke Musgrave at all?
No.
No. No one.
Brock Wright is the most sensible punt. I think you got me on him. I like that call a lot.
You need a 3K guy. I mean, if you need the 3K guy, he's available to us. Why not? I don't think we even need to go deeper than that. That's it. That's good. The other thing, I was looking for the tight end situation for the Rams.
They're not on the slate, though.
They're not even on the slate, so it doesn't matter. There is an injury there, though, but that's more of my fantasy football team, in fairness.
Is it to Higbee?
Yeah, I think Higbee might be hurt, maybe.
Then it becomes Parkinson.
He's
Parkinson.
always
Well,
hurt.
they have a rookie on that team, too. Parkinson's been all right, but there's a rookie on that team that's on the come-ups. Ferguson. Is his name.
Yep.
All right.
Wait, I'm not. Is this first name really Turd?
It starts with a T.
No,
Oh, okay.
that's
It's Terrence.
Okay. I was like, there's no way that's real. All right.
T. Ferguson? I mean, come on. If your name is T. Ferguson, you're Turd Ferguson. Like, there's no... The nickname was pre-built when you were born. Nothing we can do about it. I don't even know what that reference is from, by the way. I don't know what... Is that a
Celebrity
reference?
Jeopardy. Saturday Night Live, Celebrity Jeopardy, I think.
Celebrity Jeopardy, okay. Was he a character or an answer?
Maybe it's not. I feel like he was a character. He was Burt Reynolds, maybe a character. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting out of my league here, but I think that's what it's from.
I'll have to grok chat GPT that question after the show, like where that expression even comes from. Can I tell you guys an expression that I didn't know where it came from and it's so stupid? All right. You know how people say bye, Felicia?
Yeah.
And I heard it for years. I've watched Friday so many times that I can actually recite that movie start to finish pretty much by heart. Like I can go line by line. I know every scene and I know the words of the scene. It was on in a cycle in SUNY Albany when I went there. Like that was how the movie channel, and it played all year. We watched it 100 times. And it took me 15 years to figure out that when people say bye Felicia, that was a reference to the movie Friday. And and that girl Felicia, Debbie's sister, who came around always asking for stuff. Bye Felicia. I didn't even know. But Burns, I know the words to the movie. I know every scene. I know it by heart. I just didn't put the two, didn't connect.
I know. I'm right there with you. It's such a great movie.
I love that movie. I still watch it to this day when it's on. I can't turn it off. But yeah, obviously, when the movie comes on. It's got to get in the headspace for it too. But I never knew that Bye Felicia was from that. Anyway, all right. Wait, Brady's coming in with an answer.
Okay, there we go. Wait, okay, I nailed it. Let's go.
All right, there we go. All right, very good. Defense,
the best SNL skits that have ever existed. All right.
Yeah, it was a great one. I do know this. I do know the skit. Defense week. Burns, I'm throwing it over to you. We need some defenses this week. I like cheap ones. Who are we playing?
Well, at the low end, cheap. Probably the best bet is the Saints this week. I mean, they're at home. They got everything looking from a Vegas perspective in their wheelhouse, but they will be owned. I mean, this isn't going to be a low-owned defense by any stretch. Most single entry contests that you enter into, this will be probably the default defense of the week, unless you got guys that think that they can go lower than that and get cute. But New Orleans will be the default cash, if not single entry. Up top, though, I think a couple of defenses are popping. Green Bay is in a really good spot. JJ McCarthy coming into town. That is probably going to be a pretty popular defense this week at the upper level. And then the Ravens, I think the Ravens come in and they could actually, Tyrod Taylor coming into town. But I'm telling you, Ravens could pop in this game. They're starting to get more healthy as a defense. They're at home. It is going to be something that I just don't really see why you would go here offensively with the Jets against this defense. But yeah, so those are a couple highs and lows. In betweeners, man, I got to look at the matchup on Kansas City, but Spagnuolo's defenses at home are incredibly stout. And I can just see I can see people getting on this Indianapolis offense and it just falters. And Spagnuolo's defense they're just an interesting defense every week when they play at home. They are tough. So I don't know, man. Led by Karlaftis, he's a beast on that defensive line, and I could just see him having his way with Danny Dimes this week.
Danny Dimes. I will say this, Burns. I'm a little surprised. The Colts have been the least generous team in the National Football League to opposing defenses on the season. It's still Danny Dimes. Like, it can all fall apart, but they have not been generous to opposing defenses at all this year. The Browns, guys. The Browns.
Yeah, they're another good.
You know who's not good? Under pressure?
Geno.
Yes, that's good. Geno got sacked like 9 times in the last game. Like, this guy is getting sacked more. He's on his backside against bad teams, against bad defenses.
I wouldn't rule out the Raiders either.
Yeah,
they're up against them out. Shador Sanders is as rookie as you get on the entire slate.
Absolutely. Always target rookies.
And he didn't look good last week.
Way cheaper on FanDuel than they are on DraftKings.
Yeah. He didn't look good last week. Like, he came in and he looked awful.
So bad.
Like 4 for 100 is probably, I'm being sarcastic, but
Dion said that it was because he didn't practice with the ones.
I don't give a shit.
We see people do it all the time. All the time, people come off the bench and they're lights out, and we're like, "Whoa, where did this guy come from?" And then the next week we play him, and then they suck. This is like the opposite, where he wasn't hot coming off the bench, and he's probably going to be even worse.
Yeah, right. Normally they just come in and you think they're going to suck, and they're good. Like, this guy came out.
I was thinking about it. The name popped to me. Taylor Heineke. Yeah. I remember Geek would always get so excited about him coming in. He'd always make the sheet.
Oh.
Dude, I think Max Crosby's going to be all up in Shador's shit all game on Sunday, man. Raiders they're not as bad as everybody lays them out to be, and they could be an interesting defense. I'll just put it.
They're more average.
I'll give it the credit that Packers. The chat is saying, "Hey, I always pay up for the Packers. It never works out." True, but they're not as priced up as they normally are. They're not like the highest priced one.
Yeah.
FanDuel, their highest price. There's tons of discrepancy between DraftKings and FanDuel this week, more than ever so far.
BobbyWow, bring the insight, because I'll tell you right now, FanDuel is better at pricing these things than DraftKings, much sharper on the salaries. And I found that when I'm looking on FanDuel, especially on defense, because it's 1-for-1, right? There's no difference in how they score them. And I see one that's kind of priced all the way up there, but I can get them at a bargain on the other one. Like if FanDuel has them high and DraftKings has it low, I'm like, yeah, take that guy on DraftKings. They know what they're talking about. Like, ooh, look, 420 live viewers right now. The magic number 420.
Real.
It's literally at 420 right now. Can the chat see? Is that only visible to me?
They can't see it. It's only us.
Oh, it's only us? Yes, guys. Well done. We should got to stop this now. The perfect moment.
Well, stop the count.
It just went up.
Oh, fuck. All right. 423 now. Stop the count. Stop the count. Jeez. We almost got it. We almost nailed it. Perfection. Yes. So anyway, I think you guys nailed some of these defense plays. We don't have to pay all the way up this week. So you can get your the Burns play there with the Saints at home against Kirk Cousins, Captain Dust, as they call him now, Captain Dust, because he's dusted. Browns defense, got to play that against Geno Sack. He always gets sacked, getting smashed all over the place. Man, Chiefs, Burns, if the Chiefs thing works out, amazing. What about Arizona against Trevor Lawrence? He'll burn your food like Florence.
Yeah.
He ain't that good.
Yeah, I got to look at that KC matchup a little bit more. But Spags, there's just something interesting about how Spags schemes at home versus on the road. And they are such a different team at home.
We see the combination, by the way, guys. I see. My screen here is not just showing YouTube. It shows YouTube and Twitter or wherever else this is being sold. So the combo was at 420. By the way, 420 people watching live. That's fucking awesome. We appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us every single Friday live. The chat is awesome here. You guys are spitting ideas that turn into DFS wins for the members. Again, shout out to John Marchese last week. Shout out to JT, DFS Army last week as well. Both guys calling out Sean Tucker in the smash play of the year at 0% ownership. Holy shit, it led to so many amazing takedowns alongside a lot of the other stuff that we did. Both of you guys are get some swag. JT, by the way, you need to send me your address and t-shirt size if you want that swag. Yeah. NFL Week 12 looks like we're going to all be waiting on some really critical running back injury information that could flip the script like crazy. I don't know if hey, if it doesn't happen, I think we have a beautiful approach to the slate already. We really didn't have to get crazy. We got about 4 or 5 quarterbacks that seem like the ones to target. We're going to do that. And then, of course, one of the biggest football weeks of the year coming up next week. So we're excited that fantasy, we'll probably have double tournament tactics coming out your ass. Did I take it too far, Burns?
There we go.
Oops.
I gotta say though, big, huge congrats out to DFS Army member TOUSS14. He hit 50K large last week, and he used every single play off my cheat sheet.
Yep. He actually said the burn sheet helped him take it down. I don't have the screenshot. I think he got a 50K win last week, took down, I believe it was the flea.
Yeah, I think so. The cheat sheets have been straight fire. And also the process. It's a process oriented chat channel. So it's all about making yourself a better player through your process. Yeah. So
Burns, what he's referencing, Burns has a channel inside our Discord, a lot of sharp conversation in the Burns channel, a lot of talk about the Shark Lab plays, but also back testing, a lot of how to use the tools, how to properly approach those tools, how to check your process, back test, go see what you did right, go see what you did wrong, adjust. That's a lot of what we're about I know we don't talk too much about that during the show. That's a lot of what we're about at the DFS Army. This is truly, a science, a math that we're constantly working to perfect. And Burns, you do a great job with that in your channel and keeping the conversation very sophisticated and very high level. So well done there. Well done to Tuss on that big win. JT, if you want to get me your address, you need to be DMing me in Discord. We don't like to give out people's addresses here on YouTube. So just DM me in the Discord. Or even better, DM, one of the staff like Texan or Uppers Lad. Even better than me because they're much more organized than I am as far as getting those swag bags out. Guys, we're going to go out. Hopefully enjoyed. I want to thank, I can't remember his name. He doesn't have like a normal person name. It's like Mr. Swag or something like that. But thank you for the member who sent in the awesome theme song now for the show. We're going to let you out. We're going to go out to that. Good luck, everybody. Helmets up. I'll see everybody tomorrow at noon right back here in the Players Club. Members only, VIP. We're going to build lineups together. We're going to put it all together. Hopefully we'll have those answers about those running backs, or else I might have to delay players. I don't even know. I can't make lineups without knowing. So we're going to have to figure that part out. I don't want to make a bunch of lineups and then have to change every single one because all in on Charbonnet happened. So let's wait. We're going to see. Good luck, everybody. But we'll probably be back here tomorrow. There you go. TBD. He's working it. Tomorrow, time TBD. If we can get that info, it'll be much better. Guys, take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. Helmets up.
Let's go! Geek on the keys, Kevin Allen with the vision. BobbyWow 2 times already won 2 millions, no fiction. Burns in the shark lab, calculating the math. Wrote the damn book on how to run up a bag. Desire pull up, the MILF Slayer in the building. GPP trophies on his neck, keep the whole chat thrilled in. Third hat, who? Not us, we eating. Hit it. Oh! Tournament tactics, we stacking the bags again. Millie maker hunters, yeah, we cashing in. Helmets up, blue moon in the cup, boner alert. That over under going up. Core plays, live domination, station pop. Props based projections make the whole field drop.